It sounds like you
could
have
imagine.
experience.
Right, we're going.
I could imagine a quantum eraser blow up doll that has a big mouth and no ears.
You know we're live now.
George, I have to tell you something though, George. You could go out. I said, I have to tell you something. You could go out and you could get a quantum eraser doll and shoot it with a shotgun. That wouldn't actually be very effective. What would be more effective would be just to have it always in the background and never fucking mention it.
Yeah.
Okay, back on track. Well, this is just a little bit of an after-show, pre-show, because Jose brought up an interesting topic to do with the Big Bang and the theory that entails, and then the subject all went haywire, but I didn't really learn anything because there's only things that were discussed that we should already know. But then it devolved into something to do with rockets and Coriolis, and I don't know where it was going to go from there. But
well, the problem is you can't go anywhere when you have Aaron and Brian and SE Montreal. My gosh, the trifecta of stupid.
Is it common knowledge that, and this is me being naive and never having really looked into it, that the Earth went through multiple stages and one of those stages was colliding with another planet body?
Yeah,
that's one of the theories. Yeah,
one of the theories. Yeah, which is the thing that creates the moon, or so the theory goes.
What backs up that theory? And it's a nice theory, but what evidence actually points towards that? Why did they come to that conclusion? Is it similarities between? Minerals.
The minerals on the moon are the same as what we have
very similar. Yeah, same, pretty much the same minerals, but different structure. If that makes any sense. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because of the way it crystallized during its magmatic form, the crystalline structures are slightly different because of the amount of gravitational force that was put upon them.
We'll never know for sure. We'll be long dead before those answers come to light. I'm sure.
Not 100% sure. No, of course you can't. But the evidence suggests that's what it.
Well, so I am sure because I said so.
So what you're saying is the moon made the Earth flat.
I don't think George is saying that. No.
But if the moon's made of the same material, or not made of the same materials, but is of the same materials that the Earth is as well, you can see that how the Earth evolved with its original materials into different structures. But because the moon is the way it is, it just formed as a ball of dust and debris, basically to start with.
Same way as the planet did.
Yeah.
For me, the ultimate proof is I like that image of the lunar eclipse of with the Earth, with the shadow of the Earth, a flat disc on the back of a turtle.
Hang on, I think I've got that.
Yeah, but George, I'm a massive fan of Terry Pratchett though, and the books. I think it's brilliant.
You don't half sound like Dross.
Yeah, I don't care what you believe. This is what George wants.
Yeah.
There you go, Stingray.
Nice. Yeah.
Is that the last lunar eclipse we had that you took that photo?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I do happen to have a different philosophy upon their stupidity.
Quick question. What's the turtle called, anyone?
George.
I didn't know that a name.
And that was not taking Mickey take out of George. I actually did have it's a tortoise actually called George.
It's called Great Artuin.
Hang on a minute. When we have a lunar eclipse, how come we can't see the turtle casting onto the moon?
Yeah,
exactly. Turtle's all the way down.
No, because of this. It's because of this. It's not us that's flat. It's the sun.
Flat sun.
Oh, it's all makes.
Yeah, but that still doesn't answer the question why the turtle doesn't cast a shadow on the moon.
Well, no, because I have
the 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
Yeah, I've got the alternative.
So then on this case then does the Earth revolve around the outer edge of the sun then, or something like that?
Well, these are all presuppositions that you're making.
Sorry.
Casual, think of a merry-go-round. where the moon goes up and the Earth goes down, and the moon goes down and the Earth goes up.
How do they? So then the moon then also will have to actually also orbit north to south that way.
Yeah, hang on.
You know,
I'll just
sort of
write that down because I haven't got that in my model yet.
I reject your reality and
because that's the only way
substitute
you're going to explain. That's the only way you're going to explain a solar eclipse, isn't it? It'll have to be a polar orbit.
Ah,
rather than
I'm glad you
equatorial one.
asked.
Yeah, I am glad you asked, but also thank you for giving me that explanation because now I can use that. Right, so I'll just write that one down. Right, what's the next one? Please help.
You're building up your theories now.
But the thing is, you guys are going to be more scientific about the theories of how this could work compared to the freaking flat Earth.
Come to think of it, if it's that way, then the South Pole's the only thing that's going to get daylight, get any sun, isn't it? And the North Pole's not going to get any.
No. But the Earth revolves like a universal joint.
Exactly. You don't actually realize that it's rolling over the top. So they actually each day
it's revolving over the top and going round and round at the same time.
Well, you know, with all, I mean, ridiculous this might sound, actually, this is actually making more sense than the flat Earth, to be honest. You could make it work. The flat Earth,
the
you can't.
Thing is, you've still got gravity in this model.
Yeah, I know.
So hang on a minute. So how come Ozzie Boller and I saw the moon at the same time earlier today?
Because you went
Don't
outside.
complicate things. For goodness sake. You don't understand the model. What's wrong with you?
Because the Earth was in half rotation, so you were seeing one side of the larger sun at each. You know, but
open your eyes and use your imagination. Have an open mind for crying out loud. What's wrong with you?
Due to the reason.
Trust your senses.
Yeah, everything in our reality is because of our eyes, man.
Yeah. It's
but even if you're blind, even if you're blind, man, right?
Man, no, it doesn't say man, it's man.
Yeah, even if you're blind, man, the reality is still the freaking same. So it doesn't matter about your eyeballs.
Man.
That looks like an omelette.
No, you got to think about your eyes actually shrink it down, so it's actually an illusion. You're right when you look at it.
Can I have an omelette that size, please?
And this is what we witnessed on Jose's.
Yep.
Can I just ask? Can I ask George a really quick question because I'm confused about his math.
What's that?
So, and anybody else can chime in on this as well. So the blackbird, the change in.
Oh, you want to know how I figured that? Okay.
Right. So, no, I'm going to walk you through what I did and tell me why it's wrong. Why we came to two different figures.
I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just that we're using two different methods, and they're not necessarily going to give exactly the same answer because there's so many approximations made in a sense.
All right. So mine would be the assumption is it's on the ground. I'm not going to deal with altitude. So I've got 24,860 miles around the Earth. It travels at, so I divide that by 2,500 miles, which gives me 9.944 hours for it to go around the Earth once. 360 divided by 9.944 gives me 36.208 degrees per hour that it would be traveling. And then 36.208 divided by 60, because he was on about seconds, gives me 0.60 degrees per minute. He was on about seconds, and I said it takes 2/3 of a degree per fucking minute, and that's what I got. So I got 0.60 per minute.
Yeah. Well, that'd probably maybe be a little closer than what I did an approximation of using their whole idea of dip angle or nose down. Is all I did is I took the 25,000 miles per hour divided by 60 to get miles per minute, which was about 41 miles a minute, something like that.
Right. Okay.
And then square that and multiply by 2/3. Which is 8 inches per mile squared to get what the drop distance is from a tangent. and then use that as one side of a triangle to get the angle, compute the basically using the equation that if you use that 41 miles, let's say, let me go through the number, 2,500 divided by 60. Yeah, that gives you 41.66 miles per minute. So in 1 minute's time is 41.66 miles. You square that, multiply by 2/3 to get the drop distance. That gives you 1,157 feet. And then I took the 41.66 miles, multiplied by 5,280 to get feet, divided that into the 1,100 feet. And then that gives you the number of radians and the angle, like if you did arctangent, but the angle's so small, you can just.
Now, my brain is not complex enough to do all those calculations, so I have to do it really simply with the least number of steps.
But I get, but anyway, that's basically how I did it. Yours would be probably a more accurate way of doing it. But what I try to do is use the arguments that they're using, use the sort of parameters that they use. They want to talk about drop distances and nosing down angle, and so I just try to remain their vernacular and their stupidity. Neither your method nor my method makes any sense anyway, but you want to kind of humor them.
Yeah,
so
but
what speed did you say the Blackbird was traveling at?
2,500 miles per hour.
But it does considerable more than that.
Does it?
No. It was just an approximation speed. Just.
Oh yeah. I was just saying.
But what does it do? What is a maximum?
It's over 3,000.
They don't know what the maximum is, but it has done well over 3,000.
Yeah, but still, that's less than that's still probably 0.8 degrees per minute. And he was saying every fucking second it drops 83 feet. You definitely know the dip angle on that. And I'm there like that doesn't make a fucking sense, or there's no reason for it. You're about changing angle. You don't give a shit about distance.
Hang on. If the SR-71 is flying at 81,000 feet, right?
Yep.
And every minute it's dipping 81 feet.
No, a second. Second.
Oh, a second. So in 1,000 seconds, it'll be on the fucking deck.
I know it flies through the earth because it's stealthy. That's why it's all pointy.
And sorry for the F-bomb, but it was in context then. But it would. If it kept dropping at 81 feet per second, 1,000 seconds later, it'd be on the ground.
Yeah, I do believe that has traveled to 3,000.
Don't confuse us with facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't the place for facts and logical thinking. That's just ridiculous.
Well, how am I supposed to learn anything then?
Oh, Terry, no.
You're Australian.
No.
You don't.
Yeah.
Australians don't need to learn anything, do they? Just go with the flow and that's it. Everything works out.
What was the speed, Dean? What was the speed you were using?
2,500 miles per hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I think he mentioned that. He said cruising at 2,500 miles per hour, it would have to do so. So I just went off that. Whatever the dickhead said.
Is it me maybe just becoming overly sensitive to these nutters, or is Lemon truly annoying and just
Lemon makes things. And he makes things up as he goes along, because I've heard him say one thing that completely contradicts what he said like several days before. Entirely. Yeah. Honestly, he contradicts himself all the time. He doesn't realise he's doing it.
You can't expect him to be accurate, can you?
Well,
or consistent.
Consistent is the word, isn't it? Yeah.
Just take this picture for example, and replace real scientist with a real pilot. Okay. This must be a plane, but I've never flown it before. I should ask for help. The bottom is a flat Earth pilot. This is a plane. I've never seen this before. I've got this.
Yeah. No, did you hear it when he said, let's just imagine the plane is like a quarter the size of the planet. And I'm there like, what the fuck? How does that compute?
Yeah,
It wouldn't even fly.
Exactly.
It
So,
wouldn't even be able to fly.
A 2,000-mile long plane.
Well,
I'm
no,
working
that'd be
off
like
the diameter. I'm just working off the diameter. 2,000-mile long plane.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, but to go there with your mind, to actually think about these things and then plausibly try and draw conclusions from this implausible, fanciful thing that's fucking ridiculous is
Well, what he was
beyond-
trying to do, exaggerate how the plane would have to be reoriented downward to, go around such a sharp curvature,
To which I pointed out that if the speed didn't change, neither would the fucking velocity change, acceleration of it.
Yeah,
change.
I mean, they take these things to absurdities, to such absurd levels to justify their narrative, and that's what gets so tiring. I must admit, I'm really burnt out from that last show with Aaron and that Brian on there. My God, what a bunch of insufferable nutters.
Can you imagine being down the pub with that lot?
I found the solution, by the way.
Yes, a bendy plane.
Yeah, bendy plane, that'd work. What? Hang about.
Genius.
I'll tell you something. If it were that long with the Earth's gravitational field, it would fucking bend as well. Jesus.
It'd be interesting watching it land.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Jesus. Right. Anyway, guys, it is coming up to it's past 4 o'clock now, and I'm going to call my working day finished. So I shall speak to you all later.
Right, I do.
Okie dokie.
We didn't quite get onto my updates of the fires, but we'll get.
Oh
to
yeah,
it.
no. Well, how are you down just below Sydney? Then are you still all right? Or because a fire started west of you, didn't it?
We've been pretty well safe this fire season. We did cop a lot of the smoke because the wind was blowing up from the south a lot and a little bit from the west. But now that these winds have changed right around, I suppose the fires could be blowing back on. Should be blowing back on themselves.
But Terry, you're the national park, well, the park and High Ridge that just sits behind where you are. Skip one park over, or one huge, tree group over. There was a reported fire in that one, so that's why I said I'd ask.
Yeah, we did have fires over the back, over Picton. I think it was back at Picton Way over in that area.
Yeah.
So it's a fair way from us, but if the wind kept up, the fire could travel towards us, which would be catastrophic for us, that is. We'd be like those guys down on the south coast where the fires sandwiched them between the ocean and the beach. They had nowhere to go.
Yeah, that was an evacuation of 4,000 by the military. Did that all go okay?
And also further up the coast towards Beagle Way along there, they had a similar problem too.
Wow. Anyway, I'm glad you're all well. I'm glad you're safe, and I'm glad it's starting. It seems like on the news now and on the Himawari 8 satellites that things are dying down a little bit. It looks like a bit. It's the smoke plumes and stuff look like they're about 50% the magnitude that they were like 4 or 5 days ago or a week ago.
Yeah, they died off a bit on that.
Yeah, but I'm glad you are safe, and I shall speak to you all later.
Right, I do.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Have a good one.
Cheers, Stingray. Take it easy.
See you, mate.
Yeah, I hear a lot of one or two people are being prosecuted for lighting fires.
Well, the police did mention the news reports did mention that the police were out in force, so to speak, going around to all the pyromaniacs that were well known, and just knocking on their doors just to keep an eye on them to see what was going on. Because I couldn't put it past natural weather starting a lot of those fires. Just too suspicious for some of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, start a fire in that sort of conditions doesn't take much, a bottle thrown out into the hedge.
Yeah,
You know, the sunlight catches it. It doesn't take much, but it did seem to escalate rather quickly.
yeah, it's so sad that you have these nutters that do that. I mean, you see that happening in Colorado and California too. In fact, there was some incidences in the past in Colorado where was some of the first service people starting the fires because they wanted to get overtime fighting the fires.
Notoriety, yeah.
Well, we got a lot of people coming over to help fight them with the Army Reserves. Americans came over, Canadians. I don't know if anyone else from other countries came to help. The aircraft, I think, is the main help with a lot of the fire suppression retardants they can use. The big 737s, I think they're called.
Well, the DC 1030 series, because I had this argument with someone the other day and I got it wrong. Actually, it was Stingray. Anyway, in that fire suppressant, they actually have that expander suppressant. So once it hits the flame, it actually helps putting it releases a gas of some kind that extinguishes the flame. So it's not just water that's in that compound.
It's a borax, isn't it?
Yeah.
I assume they're still using borax.
Yeah, that's the most likely. I mean, they've probably improved it, but yeah, it would be a borax base.
Yeah.
And stuff.
And stuff. Gotta have stuff.
This looks like the latest satellite.
Look at that. The rain doesn't want to come near us. Look at it. It's avoiding us. It's just hanging out in the bite. It just doesn't want to come over.
Yeah, that's too hot for them. That's why.
Yeah, it's like putting your toes in the bath.
Yeah, I ain't going near there. It's too hot. I'll wait till it cools down a bit.
So that's the main area where the fires were, just below that cloud band that's drifting off out over the coast. Hard to tell.
All right, so yeah, quite a lot less.
Looks like you can just barely see it down in. Wait till the frame. Yeah, well, there we go. You can see me cursor. I don't know. You probably not. I don't know if you can.
Yeah,
you can see like 3 streaks of fire, but that wind's blowing to the northeast, and the weather reports are saying. The weather report's saying that the wind where I am is blowing from a different direction. So. I don't know how long ago. This should be recent now.
Yeah, but the convection from the fires will push the smoke in the opposite direction. Remember that. Oh, hang on. Coriolis. I blame Coriolis.
Blame Coriolis.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's evil.
Yeah, southerly winds. Okay. At the moment, we're getting southerly winds.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll be pushing it north.
Around. They're going to turn around to the east, and then back.
What's up, party people?
Hey, no.
Yeah,
all right, it worked this time.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Well, I had to dial in this time instead of using the call-in audio the other way.
Oh.
Don't know why.
Oh. Are you on the phone?
Yeah.
Don't know.
But I normally just go in through the Zoom app. I don't know what happened.
No.
It just wouldn't let me.
Well,
nothing at my end.
See, that's all because of your free will that you don't have.
Oh, is that what it is? See, I've been arguing the wrong thing this whole time. I see now. Did y'all like my rebuttal to what's his name?
Opinionated assholes.
Yeah, no, in fucking Lemon Bird and Right to Hand.
Oh,
you know, all their woo bullshit. No, it was in the on the panel.
Discord. In the Discord, was it?
No, on Jose's show.
Oh yeah, when you told him some stuff that I won't mention.
Yeah, you weren't even listening. Thanks, I appreciate that. Thanks.
No, I was listening. right? And it was
Right.
the fact that you said when you brought up, like earlier in the conversation, when you brought up the railroad spike, and they said that has nothing to do with it, his soul remains the same. Well, then why did he go from being a peace-loving man to being an aggressive asshole after he had a railroad spike go through his head? Not because the railroad spike went behind his face or anything, but it affected his brain.
Right. I mean, the fact that we perform frontal lobotomies for 50 years in this country, and the results, you can look up the results and you can see that we don't have free will in some supernatural sense. You know what I'm saying? If you mess up the hardwiring of your brain, you're going to change something. That's just a fact.
Well, Lemon can't recognize that because his wiring got all messed up a long time ago.
Yeah, when he had his
I know.
lobotomy.
So over in Jose's, no, I got right to hand to admit that sensors don't sense things. They're programmed, and that to give you the result you're looking for. And the only way to know something is to touch it yourself. Like he's got to physically touch something. And I was like, well, then no evidence I'm ever going to give you is going to be sufficient because you can't physically touch it. So why are we still talking?
Do you have to put your hand directly on something to measure temperature? Don't know why, just that the thing goes up when it gets hot. Yeah, I do. What? So he doesn't believe in the fire hot
in a fucking thermometer. He doesn't believe in he doesn't believe that any sensor can give accurate information. It's only a program, and that you got to touch something physically to be. So there is no conversation that you can have with a presuppositionalist like that will ever change their mind.
What about
did you then tell him to put his hand in the fire to measure how hot it is?
Or has he not?
I mean, what difference does it make? I'm done. I'm done. I kept asking him, what evidence would you accept? I kept asking him, what's your standard of evidence? Give me something to work with, and I will provide it for you. That's how confident I am in my beliefs, in my true justified beliefs. Okay?
Did you plant your seed?
Oh, man. I don't know that I want to plant my seed in him. He also lied and claimed that he used to be an electrical engineer. And so, when I asked him, when I asked him about electronics, he started basically putting up the some basics off of Google. Like you can even Google what he searched, and the first hit is what he was spouting.
You should ask him the direction of travel of electricity. Does it go volts, amps, watts, or amps, volts, watts, or watts, amps, volts?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He'll just Google it and then pretend. At the end of the day, when somebody hits me with an imbalanced standard of evidence like that, all I can do is just say, okay, well then I'm done, because there's no evidence that will be sufficient to make any impact whatsoever. So what difference does it make?
You're making a fundamental mistake.
So when he goes off to the toilet and has a dump, does he have to physically touch it to see he's had one? Is he really that bad?
He might have felt it. He might have felt it coming out of his butthole.
His mouth. I don't know about his butt.
Yeah. He does talk out his ass. I'm sorry, George. What were you saying?
I was just saying you're making a basic error in that, assuming that right the hand has a modicum of intelligence. I mean, I gave up with him about 6 months ago when Rumpus and I were having discussions with him on Skype. And I mean, he doesn't even acknowledge the fact that matter is composed of atoms. And so, there's just nowhere to go with this, man.
But I guess my point is that there are some people who will at least give you some evidence that they would accept, something that is testable or demonstrable, whatever. But with him, no test, no experiment would be sufficient unless he could literally lay his hands on it. And so what does it matter? There's no experiment, no test I can give him for, anything outside of arm's reach.
Well, here, listen. He appeared on Fight the Flat Earth, going back early in the year, going back March.
I remember that.
Or something like that. That was his first debate, and that's pretty much when he kind of entered the community. And he's been like that since. I mean, if you think back to that debate with Fight the Flat Earth, he was exactly the same way then, and he hasn't changed a single thing. It's the same old rhetoric, and he will not accept anything you say.
So Right to Hand, Lemon Bird, and Slick all have this Luddite ignorance religion thing going on.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. I don't see how it's helpful. I don't see what it brings to the table or adds to the conversation or anything. At least with flat earthers, they make a positive claim. These people never make a positive claim. They just go, "That's not real."
Yeah, well, Lemon Bird just makes things up as he goes along to suit his narrative.
Well, yeah, he's crazy. Yeah.
So you're all discussing.
I kept calling Slick out on his double standards too. I'm like, how come you're not calling Lemon Bird out on his ether free energy shit? And he was like, well, I'm not a nuclear expert. I'm like, oh, well, it never seems to stop you from talking about it.
What the hell does ether free energy thing have to do with nuclear physics? I mean,
when he brought you have to scroll back up a little bit further, but I made a point about how I asked him. I was like, okay, well in that case, how do nuclear reactors work?
Well,
he goes, well, I'm not a nuclear expert.
Yeah. Well, this all comes from Lemon's paranoia that the elite is suppressing the masses and, in hiding all this technology to extract energy out of the ether because it would, disrupt their monopoly on charging us for energy.
Well, something suppressing the brain. I don't know about the elite suppressing anything.
Well, couldn't they charge us from the ether? Just as well
that's
as they
it.
can
There is
from
no ether. There is no way to extract any energy.
Oh, well, yeah, I know.
Useful energy.
But their excuse is, it's the elitist stopping us from doing that.
Yeah, that's what it is. Sure. Yeah,
but the
to keep us under their thumb,
Yeah, but the elitists are already keeping us under their thumb by using the oil. So
I'm not a nuclear energy guru.
Well, I told him I was going to throw that back in his face the next time we spoke. That was actually in Jose's chat about the in his show, in his side chat. I told him I was going to throw that back in his face next time we talk.
Hang on, what's this shit from a round of applause? Electrons never emerge. Read my lexicons. Only volts, watts, amps, and ohms. Does he know what ohms is?
Does he not know what electricity is?
No, so
and he's just arbitrarily defined energy out of existence, by the way. Just arbitrarily defined. Ohms is resistance.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't have electricity without electrons.
Yeah, exactly, because that's where the word fucking comes from.
Duh.
But I can't believe the level of stupidity required to be this dumb.
Is he upset because he didn't get?
I was trying to, Daniel, but I couldn't get my button to work on my radio. Go ahead.
As Sean Hawkins has said in the chat, he says. Sean Hawkins says in the chat, he says that if you can't quantify, it doesn't exist, but he says the ether that he can't quantify is real.
Okay, well, I was down there earlier turning them all back on, and just give me a heads up when y'all get the line running again so I can be down here, but I'm on my way.
No, mute yourself, buddy. We can hear you working.
Oh, shit, my bad. I'm sorry.
Do you think
I hate dealing with these fucking idiot forklift drivers who don't know how to turn a damn robot on. All right, how do I mute myself?
Go on. And I was just saying, Sean Hawkins says in the chat, he says that if you can't quantify, it doesn't exist. But then he says the ether, but then he says about the ether, and he can't quantify that that's real. So yeah, again, it's yet another flat earther contradiction.
Yeah, contradiction in terms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny, like this ether thing, right? They want it to be one thing down here on Earth, but they also want it to be the same thing out in space. But they also want it to be the same thing in water. They also want it to be the same thing that holds our molecules and atoms together. I mean, like you can't, like, consistency is the theme that is being used incorrectly. You can't have it all four ways.
Well, for whatever lemon is, I must admit I am duly impressed by the effortlessness with which bullshit flows from his mouth. I mean, it just goes nonstop without a pause.
Oh, do you think the right hand is upset because he didn't get dumb fuck of the year? Sorry, my bad. Was swearing. So he's acting really stupid. So he gets it this year.
Oh, he's getting in early.
This is
for
not
2020
an act.
Nomination.
Oh, it's not an act, yeah.
Sean must be dreaming because he's not sure if we're live or not.
And right the hand as well. If you back him into a corner, if you really can back him into a corner, the thing he just resorts is just because God tell me I've got the Bible and it tells me so. He would say that quite often months ago when he used to be on Discord. It was the same thing he backed down to as well.
Because you're retarded line of attack as well.
Yeah, exactly, that one as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when he gets
there can't be too much upstairs with right the hand. Any man that follows per chemo's lead on things, that's not saying a whole lot. I mean, a while back he was following chemo's lead on this nonsense about no air pressure in the atmosphere and stuff.
Can't we talk about two other people than Lemon Bird and Right the Hand? Because I'm like,
well, there's about 10 of these extreme nutters out there.
Because I'm likely to get in trouble if I talk about Right the Hand, and Lemon Bird's not far behind.
Yeah, probably best to leave a certain word out that you used earlier on in Discord. Yeah, leave that out.
Yeah. Well, a whole statement really. More just a word.
That
would be it. Yeah,
well,
that would be inappropriate.
You could express your opinion of him, but just don't use that word.
Well, no, I'd rather you didn't express your opinion on Terry's channel, Alan.
Yeah, no.
It probably wouldn't go down very well.
Well,
we'd all agree with you, but
you wait a minute. I'll mute Alan, and then Alan can go to town on it.
No, that's all right. I won't do it publicly.
Be careful, Alan, or the aliens will get you.
Not the aliens.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
I mean, there's a whole collection of these nutters. I don't know if you guys have heard in Gems. There's lately been two that are really out there. There's this water ball from Finland and another guy called Quiet Noobs. And
yes, George. You know I've met these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not all about you, Davros. There's other people that haven't.
I'm a bit confused as to
you've spoken to Waterball.
Have I? What did I? Did I actually have something to say?
You spoke to him yesterday.
Oh, did I? Okay. That was yesterday.
And there's Elijah. He's a numpty.
Yeah, Elijah. Yeah, another one. But there's about 10 to 15 of these extreme nutters, and they show up everywhere, and they're the only ones that we end up talking to.
There might be a few in here too, George. You never know.
That could be.
I am not.
I've always wondered about Alan.
Can I just change the subject slightly? I'm a bit confused as to what Sean Hawkins is saying, because he said that, Terry, when are you going live? And then I said, well, we are live. And then he said, Casual Spaceman, no, it's from December.
And then he said, I had to reset or something. I had to and I'm thinking, how did that work out?
I don't know. I don't understand what he was. How could he be in the chat of a live show when he's looking at another one from December?
I got no idea.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Tube sucks, he says.
Fred said Terry's mind is going. Yeah, sorry, Fred.
Yeah, oh, and George, I probably am completely crazy because, the radar probably cooked my brain.
Hey, Sean
Too
G.
many high energy pulses coming in.
I mean, if they're worried about the amount of power that that you can get out of a mobile phone cooking your brain, then I've really got to worry with that thing.
My mum bakes cake. Said he's just done a video on at New Zealand.
Yeah, I've got a couple put away here to watch. From I've never seen them. Well, they're only new. Where did I put them?
Yeah, Alan, if you put your tinfoil hat on as that radar dish came around, you might end up with arcing all over on the tinfoil.
Yeah, I tell you one place you would never catch me when that radar was on the roof of that building.
Yeah.
Not that one, but the other radar we had, that was S-band, so 3 gigahertz. But the L-band radar we had,
if you were standing up there as that thing spun around, you'd probably feel your jollies warming up.
Yeah, I mean, it only puts out 60 high power.
Yeah, if you can't see it, it can't be real, Alan. So don't worry about it.
In high power mode, that's capable of putting 60 megawatts of S-band radiation into a beam that's half a degree wide and 6 degrees high.
Good for plasma cutting, then.
Well, I say the L-band radar, which we had, which was the other side of the site, when you used to have to go over and do a head check and make sure and fill in the file log. When it was 3 o'clock in the morning, you'd quite often jump in the car and drive over, and the side lobes that would come around with the air would screw with the electronic fuel injection system in my car, and literally you'd go inside and come out 30 seconds later and the car would be revving up and then cut out and all sorts of rubbish. It makes you realise just how much RF was around on our station. And that was supposed to be in a safe place.
Yeah. Sean Hawkins just put in tinfoil hats are actually cone antennas that amplify radio signals.
Yeah, and then if you've got 3 fillings in the right spot, you'll be able to pick up the horse racing at Flemington.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they direct the signals to the lizard brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amygdala.
Yeah. Just turn lights on in San Diego. Yep. Yeah, that's the point. You might be able to sell tinfoil hats to the flat earthers, mightn't you?
No, because they're not flat.
I'm curious. I've just been introduced here within the past week to this Brian Ledke, and he keeps referring to theodolites and stuff and making references to that. He might have some surveying expertise or something like that, but when I listen to him, I don't hear any such thing coming out of his mouth. What is his claim for fame anyway?
Lidke clicked on a Russian email and they spammed his YouTube channel full of advertising material for days and days and days and days.
Weeks and weeks.
Wait,
and
are
weeks.
we talking about the same? Are we talking about the same guy here?
Lidke?
How do you spell his last name?
No. I'm not talking about the guy in the UK. I'm talking about this American guy in Florida. That was on Jose's tonight.
Oh, Brian Leak. Brain Leak.
Brain Leak. Yeah. Get it right.
L-E-A-K-E, yeah, Leak.
Okay. Leak.
He's a freaking idiot. There is no way he's a surveyor. No way in hell, because he'd know about geodesics.
Yeah. I'm wondering about, he is talking to me about coming up here with his equipment. I'm wondering, well, what is this equipment that he has? Does he even know how to use a theodolite?
Probably not.
Doubt
He'd
it.
probably think you plug it into the mains and it shines a light somewhere.
Yeah. He probably doesn't know how to use a spirit level, let alone a theodolite.
Yeah.
From what I could gather from what he was saying to you the other day, George, I don't think he's got a clue. I think he's Google searched some things and just found a few buzzwords to say regarding surveying.
Yeah, a lot of them do that, don't they?
Bit like Gleam.
Yeah.
Yep. So how pleased was Mr. Streamy Leaky guy got his award? Was he pleased? What's his name?
What award is this?
Anthony Riley.
Yeah. Was he pleased?
I haven't heard anything. I think he put
Dumb
out a
Idiot of
video
the Year.
about it.
Also,
Yeah,
Riley won the Dumbfuck of the Year
Yeah.
award? Oh,
Yes,
good.
he did. Well, he should have come second.
Yeah, he should only
I
ever be
agree.
allowed to. It should be in the rules.
Yeah, he should never ever win.
Should have been J.M. Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. No.
Well, he
I don't
definitely
know
made
how he came third. I really don't. And you know, I mean, the first and second place were way out ahead. Way ahead.
Who was second?
Kyle Curtis.
Kyle.
I don't know him.
Kyle Curtis was the
From
guy
the
that took over
non-sequitur?
the non sequitur show. Yeah, he took over from Steve McRae and pushed Steve McRae
Well,
out.
took over is really, that's a really gentle way of putting it.
Hostile butt plug man.
Oh. So he's the one that messed it up then.
Yes, he did.
Hello, Carl.
It was a group effort, but I think it was 95% Kyle in that case. He did 95% of the work.
Yeah. But what about Bull?
Yeah, what about
you're
Bull?
right.
Yeah, the
Sean's
producer
right.
of the bloody show.
I know. Joke.
Sean G's got a point. There should be Scammer of the Year award as well. That should go to all of them.
No,
I'm going to try to win that one. I'm going to try to win that one with my defraginator.
Yeah, refrigerator.
Well, I don't know what Riley's game is, but he put out another video 2 days ago. Gravity is not a thing unless you can demonstrate it. So what's he starting early again? Even though he's
I can demonstrate gravity. Okay,
yeah,
get
just
me a
drop a
3-pound sledgehammer, right, and I'll drop it on his head. Gravity.
How is that not a demonstration? Exactly. I mean, it's probably the simplest thing you can do. That's a demonstration of gravity.
Yeah, just drop him out of a plane.
Yeah, but if it's not a demonstration, I don't know what the hell is.
Just kick him out of a plane. He'd soon find gravity.
Yeah.
Has anything more come of Riley's flat Earth thesis?
Unknown.
No, that was never a thesis ever, and he knows it was a thesis.
Well, I know.
No
I'm putting thesis in quotation marks. You know,
paper. No, nothing that we were aware of. It was all a scam anyway. He sent it out really just to sort of cause a bit of havoc. That's all it was.
I mean, I can't imagine that he actually may have submitted that, but
yes, Bob. There's no idiots here because they wouldn't dare come on this show.
We seem to have a filter for that sort of thing.
Yeah, it was like earlier over in Jose's. We had Right the Hand in there who was supposed to be on Planet Walks, right? and Casual was just being the arrogant bastard that he could be, going, go and debate him. Go on there. What are you, scared? No, why don't you debate me? I don't want to debate you. Planet Walk's waiting for you. He's over there. All right, bugger it. We'll go get him and bring him here.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it because I happened to go over to Planet Walk's stream, and then he at that moment, just as soon as I went to see the stream, he put up on the screen a Discord DM he got from this guy, right? So I thought nothing of it. So I listened to Planet Walk for a little while, and he was just talking on. So I thought, no, I'll go and do something. And about sort of 45 minutes, an hour later, I then go on to the Daily Boom, Jose's Discord. And lo and behold, I didn't realise at first, it took me about 15 minutes, and I realised he was there. And then it transpires, he'd been there for 3 hours. He'd been there the whole time in this other Discord channel, and he had already told Planet Walk that he had things to do and he was busy. And he was in the other Discord, and he flatly refused to go over to Planet Walk, didn't he? The fact that he's been on Planet Walk's Discord before, and he's got a member, and Planet Walk wasn't a member of the of Jose's Discord, but he made him come over. He still did. He still did the show from that point onwards, but he was trying to turn it around on me, wasn't it? Well, debate me then. Debate me. You're bitch made if you're not doing it. What part of no, I don't want to debate you, do you not understand? And he says you're making excuses. So what excuses am I making here? I don't want to debate you.
Yes, you made an honest statement.
There's a slick that's going to join. Now I want you to behave yourselves because I'd like
I'll mute myself for the entire.
I'd like some sort of responsible conversation to be had if possible.
All right, I'm
Slick
muting.
is now going to join your show. I'm busy. I've got to go wash my toilet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Slick. Did you get a good signal yet? He was having troubles with his signal because he was on a bus.
That'd be something to do with electrons then.
Where would the signal come from if you're on a bus? Just from whatever tower's closest to you?
They can have Wi-Fi actually on the buses. Actually, we have them here.
Yeah.
Shows you. I don't know how it works, but yeah, that's how they have Wi-Fi on the buses here.
Yeah, they don't like you connecting to anything that does voice though, because like too much data. I know because I have to use the bus these days.
I like that it uses Wi-Fi, but I don't know how. Radio signals, mate. Radio signals. Simple.
Yeah, but they don't exist because you can't see them.
Oh, that's right. It's like not seeing gravity, but you can't see the fucking wind either. You can see the effect of it. You can't see it.
Here,
you
little
can't
G.
see atoms.
I sent you a link, little G.
Maybe I thought you were going to go and clean your toilet.
Well, we're going to get some gravity up in here.
Somebody else sent me a message too. Who was that? Dart Man. Oh, Sleepy at it again. Okay, what was Sleepy doing?
Check 1, 2.
Check, yep. Your signal coming through? Sounds like it on our end.
All right then.
This is what Anthony Riley put out about an hour ago. At 23:30 and full moon and high moon has a high moon rise right now. It's 100% cloud cover, no moon test yet. Watch this space. Oh, he's doing a moon test. Okay. I've got no idea what he's doing, but
Cold moon, I think.
How does he know what time of the moon is if it's cloud cover?
Well, I'd like to also know, how does he know that the temperature he's recording is from the rays coming from the moon, or if it's the actual temperature of the product? Just putting it out there.
I got visitors. I got to keep quiet. I'll just mute myself and I'll cut in when I can.
All right, Terry.
I came in because I heard No Name mentioning my name and saying a few things, so I kind of wanted to come in and address him if he's still around.
Slick, you're a cunt. Fuck off.
Well, there you go.
Oh yeah, I'm right. I'm right here, Slick, and I'm willing to defend everything I've said regarding you.
Okay, so what is your problem now? What I'm not doing what now? Like, what are you expecting me
Sure,
to do?
you don't challenge any claims or assertions from any flat earthers or science deniers. You don't hold them to the same standard that you hold anybody else. I've called you out on it several times, and you have not sufficiently addressed it. So where do we go from there?
Okay, so you've never heard me and Lemon having a discussion?
I've never heard you call him out the way you call out everyone else. So
Okay,
if you have and I haven't seen it, I apologize. So I'll be glad to be corrected. But you didn't call him out on his free ether bullshit or woo or no, you haven't. Well, you haven't shown me any evidence yet. You got a screen grab or something where you have?
Hold it. What are you talking about? Call him up on his ether bullshit. What are you talking about?
Okay, so if anytime somebody brings up atoms or anything like that, anything requiring what your standard of evidence from a science standpoint, you call us out. You say, "How do you know that?" and things of that nature. But you never do. I've never heard you or seen you do it to Right the Hand or Lemon Bird or anybody else who makes these crazy woo claims. And on the panel tonight, you were calling out other people, but you never called out Lemon on the ether claim. And you can't measure it, you can't quantify it, no empirical demonstration whatsoever. So I'm still waiting on you to do that.
You're really long-winded. First of all, I don't call out people, I call out ideas.
Okay, well then I've never heard you call out any of their ideas.
Okay, well, what I did, give me one that you think that I should be calling out.
I just did. Did you? Wow, what was the point of me being long-winded if you're not going to listen? I just gave you a specific example. What was wrong with it?
Okay.
What was wrong with my example?
Okay, hold on. Here you go. First of all, let's talk about ether. What do you want me to call out about ether? I don't know anything about ether.
Free energy. He made a claim that Tesla invented some device that could suck energy or electricity straight out of ether. I guess an infinitely recharging system based on sucking energy out of ether. And you didn't say anything about how do you know that?
Yes, I did.
Really?
In the chat.
I was on that panel.
Damn, do you know how to be quiet for a second? In the chat, I said I never experienced free energy.
That's not calling out a claim.
Well, I mean, I haven't. I don't know about. Listen, as far as I'm concerned, I don't know anything about free energy being a thing. I've never experienced.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But I'm going to hold you to that same standard on Jose's Discord and on Jim Panda's Discord, any other server that I see you on, where you're not an expert in something yet you're shooting down other people's ideas. Fair is fair.
Yeah, I know fair is fair. I'm not shooting down anybody's idea. I said when it comes to free energy, dude, listen, you got to cut that out. Now,
well, if that makes you feel better, if that helps you, if that helps your argument.
I know one thing, you're really annoying.
Now, okay. And you're not?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Are you a troll? Listen, dude, if you're a troll, don't play with me, okay?
Slick, do you know what a troll is? Do you know what a troll actually is, mate?
I troll pose.
I'm talking to No Name. I'm talking to No Name.
I troll pose, yes. Yes, I am directly answering your question. Yes, I troll pose. And I don't mind telling anybody that. You're a pose.
Do me a favor. Don't play games with me. If you want to have a conversation,
I'm not playing games. I'm not playing games. You're the one always playing games. Your little semantic games and your little how do you know? And I don't believe that. You're the one that plays all of the semantic games.
Dude, find some kids to play with, okay? Don't play
okay, if that makes you feel better, if that helps your argument, that makes you feel better about yourself.
You're talking out of the side of your ass. Come on, man.
I'm literally quoting you, buddy. Are you triggered?
Now I told you.
Are you triggered?
Dude,
You sound triggered.
Stop playing with me, dude.
You're triggered.
Now, when it comes to things like free energy, I have never experienced free energy. It's not something that I resonate with. Now, whether free energy is a thing or not, I can't tell you. But I don't resonate with the idea because I've never experienced it. And I typed that in the chat not too long ago. Now, anything else you got?
Then you can't argue anything that has to do with quantum physics.
Exactly.
Yeah. Stop arguing.
Physics.
Stop arguing anything that you're not have direct experience with. How about that?
I'm not. I never argued quantum physics. What are you talking about? When have you ever heard
Okay, well,
me?
I'm gonna pull up all the Discord side chats, and I'm gonna screen grab them. I'm gonna put a video together for you of all the times that you've discussed quantum physics and quantum mechanics, and shot it down like it was some kind of woo fairy tale religion. That's what you believe. That's what you think.
Apparently, you know what your problem is? You talk too much instead of listen. If you listen right now.
Oh, do I remind you of a young you? Is that what it is? Sometimes people who are too similar do annoy each other. I get it, Slick. Is that what the problem is? You're not used to being confronted. You're not used to somebody who can talk more than you.
I'm gonna end this conversation.
I love playing games, man. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love Uno and all kinds of games. What you got? You done? Excellent.
Okay then.
All right.
So anyway, Terry, I came on the show to acknowledge.
Terry's not here right now, Slick.
Okay. Well, anyway, he might be listening. So now, does anybody else got a problem with me while I'm here that they want to bring up?
Actually, I do have one little problem with you, Slick.
Go ahead. What you got?
You stated that you've never witnessed anything quantum, yet you use a computer.
What is your point?
That uses quantum physics to actually make the calculation so you can put a letter on the bloody screen.
Well, I don't know where you got that from because I took computer programming and it uses logic gates.
Yeah, guess what? Logic gates are part of quantum physics, you silly man.
Well, I mean, as far as the story that I've heard, transistors were developed using quantum mechanics. Okay, so what?
Yeah, but do you understand that the logic gate has to go from one point to another?
So what's your point? What are you talking?
It's a quantum mechanical process.
Okay, so you say, what do you want me to do?
Well, no. It says you've never witnessed it, and you just said you've witnessed these logic gate transistors. Therefore, you have witnessed quantum in action.
Listen, I didn't say I witnessed anything. I understand how logic gates work. I went to college for it.
Well, obviously, you don't understand how the logic gates work.
I do know how. I know how if-then. They do if-then statements. If this, then that. I know how logic works.
No. The program makes that decision.
That's what logic gates do. They if
no. The program makes that decision.
So do you know how logic gates work?
The program makes the decision.
No, I heard you. I heard you the first 3 times. I said, do you know how logic gates work?
Yes, the program makes the decision for the logic gate to either be open or closed.
Okay, so do you understand that logic makes if-then decisions? If this, then that? Do you understand that?
No, not the logic gate doesn't make that decision. The program makes the decision for the process to happen.
Okay, whatever. Okay, so if you want to split hairs, sure, whatever. So what's your point?
The logic gate won't open unless the program tells it to.
Okay, so what? What's your point?
No, that means you don't understand the logic gate, mate.
I know how logic gates work. They go by if-then statements. I said that.
Well,
That's how logic gates work.
How can they do it if there's no program to tell it to do it?
No kidding.
Am I like a broken
Listen,
record here?
well, it's just that you're sounding stupid. You act like nobody
How am I
understands that.
acting stupid?
Listen,
Yeah,
computers
you're the
run
one
off
who
of
doesn't
software.
understand cause
I'm
and
not
effect.
talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Computers run off of
Oh,
software.
I'm talking to
So
you
what
though.
is-
You're the one who
so
doesn't
what's your
understand
point?
cause and effect.
What's your point? Computers work off software, Davro. So what is your point?
Yeah, so a logic gate doesn't know whether it's open or closed unless a program tells it to. You're
Okay,
telling
so
me,
what?
hang
What
on,
is your
you're
point?
asking me to explain. Shut up and listen.
Drop dead, asshole. What's your point?
Okay, you can call me an asshole all you like. I'm telling you to shut up and listen, okay?
And I'm
If you
telling
can
you, you're an
make, if
asshole.
you can
Don't
make
talk
a
to me like
logic
I'm a
gate,
kid. You don't
if you
talk
can
to me
make a
like I'm a
logic
kid.
gate open and close without a program, show me.
Nobody said you could.
Right then, you don't know how they work then.
What I told you is how logic gates work. They go by if-then statements. Those statements have to come from a program. So what? What is your point?
No, but you didn't make that clarification at the start.
Okay, I'm making it now. I'm making it now.
No. So this is your problem, right? You just, that's shifting the post.
Listen. I know that a logic gate just sitting on a table by itself doesn't make decisions by itself. I'm telling you how they work. Come on, man, stop playing with me.
Yeah, and do you understand that function in that transistor actually works on a quantum level, right?
I heard the story about how transistors was developed using quantum. I heard the story. What is your point?
Yeah, but you're saying you don't know anything about quantum, yet you understand how these transistors work.
I don't know anything beyond the stories.
But if you understand how these transistors work, then you know.
Okay, so if that's the case, if that's all there is to quantum, that they were helped use in developing transistors, and that's everything to know about quantum mechanics, okay, I'm an expert. There you go.
You just straw man that whole conversation, man.
Nice
okay,
straw
well,
man.
you're killing me because you ain't making a whole lot of sense, boss.
Well, if you can't understand it, you are thicker than I thought you were.
Well, maybe you're not good at describing things because you're trying to tell me that just because I've heard the story that transistors
I'm not good at describing things.
Quantum, you're trying to tell me I'm supposed to know everything there is to know about quantum mechanics.
No. I never said that.
Well, what are you saying, dude? You're confusing me.
No, if you're confused by this conversation, mate, how the hell do you buy eggs at a shop?
Maybe you don't know what you're talking about. Maybe that's the problem.
But I do know what I'm talking about, mate.
Okay,
I've
so
built
what
my
are you
own,
talking about, dude?
I have built my own computers for the last 20 years, right?
Okay.
I know what I'm talking about. I understand how the electrical processes work across a CPU, across RAM, across a graphics card. I know how the logic systems work, okay? I understand how transistors work. I have done electrical fundamentals. I understand how transistors open and close.
I'm impressed. That's very impressive.
You are being silly.
What are you talking about? So you ran down to me how computers work. That's great. That's wonderful. I also have an associate's degree in electronic technology. I know how they work too. That's beautiful.
You have an associate's degree in what?
Electronic technology.
You mean information technology?
I said I have an associate's degree in electronic technology. I don't know if you can hear or not. So what is your point? I know I've heard all about it. I know about computers. When I took it, we had the CPU. I know how it works with the RAM, with the ROM, with the hard drive, all of these things. I forgot most of it, but it was a long time ago. I took it. So what? What is your point? I don't understand. What is your point in all of this?
So you forgot all this stuff, but you stick to your logic gate argument.
I just said that I know how computers work. They use logic, and they use logic transistors built in such a way that they answer if-then statements. If it gets an instruction that says this, it does that. If this, then that. That's the process of how logic gates work. That's all I'm saying. And I understand the story about transistors was used with quantum, but that's all I know about quantum. Back when I took electronic technology, quantum mechanics wasn't even brought up. We only studied how the transistors work, not how they were created.
By studying how a transistor works, you are studying quantum.
Well, it's just simple on and off. You know,
Yeah,
it's a, yes, it's ones and zeros, dude. That's it.
Oh, you like talking to my 5-year-old right now.
Well, dude, I don't know I just don't know what point you seem to be trying to make a point, but I don't know what it is.
That's
If you
the
would
thing.
just tell me what your
Everyone
point
else
is.
everyone else that's in this conversation.
I'm not
has
everyone else
understood.
in the conversation. I'm
Hang
not
on,
them. I'm me.
Slick, shut the fuck up and listen.
You shut the fuck up. Fuck you, punk ass
Everyone
bitch.
else
Who
in
you
this
talking to?
conversation has understood what I've been trying to convey to you, right? But the thing is,
How do you
all
know?
you're doing
How do you
is
know?
being
How do you know what they
ignorant.
understand? How do you know? How do you know what everybody in the room understands? Did you take
Because
did you
they
do a
would have
vote?
called me out for saying something.
I'm going to mute everyone because it's getting a bit disrespectful with people calling people names. I'd like a question to be asked from this point on, so then I can at least follow what's going on, and then we'll move on, because it seems to be just getting circular and back and forwards is turning into argument and insults, which is not what I want. I'll unmute you guys now.
I appreciate it, because I didn't come here for this.
No, I don't expect anyone to come here for anything like this.
Now, the only reason I came was because I was listening, like I said I was going to listen, and if I heard something that would make me want to join, I did. So I heard No Name telling me about how I never call people out, so I kind of wanted to come in so we could talk about it. Then it turned into a troll fest.
And did you get your conversation with the person that you're mentioning?
Yeah, but it turned into a troll fest, and then the virals jumped in, and then now he's doing his thing, and then you start, with the hollering and yelling and the demeaning conversation, and that's how it deteriorated. I didn't come for a deterioration.
I hear what you're saying, and I agree with it. It has deteriorated, but I would disagree that it was a troll fest. Nobody was actually trying to troll you. What they wanted to do was to call you out as to what you actually understand. That's what they were trying to do. Like I said, I'm not getting in the middle of it. I'm not saying one way or the other. That's just the way I kind of see it. I just disagree with you saying that it's a troll.
Okay,
it wasn't a troll. It wasn't meant to go that way, I don't think.
So you didn't hear No Name just trolling the crap out of me, just every time I spoke, just talking over me? You didn't hear that?
No, again, yeah, I heard that, but I don't see it.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's trolling.
Okay. No, it's not. But anyway,
yes,
we'll just agree.
No, that's trolling.
Okay,
that's what trolling is.
We just agree to disagree. I disagree.
No problem.
That's what I'm saying.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem. So now I would love to have a very nice conversation with anybody that's willing, or if you don't want to talk to me at all, I can listen to you. It doesn't matter. But if you have something that you want to talk to me about, talk to me about.
Well, we were talking on Jose's about, I missed out on what Jose's show was about earlier, but I think he was mentioning how the Big Bang was was created. But the Big Bang hasn't been a theory that I'm led to believe all the time. It was only something that was thought of more recently, and that has even been called into question in the theory of the Big Bang, because that, for what happened, for what evidences we're seeing, we can verify certain things, but speculation can be some of it, but observations is what they're going by. So I'd like to hear more about it from when I find out about it a bit more through the science community of what they're thinking or what they're seeing.
Yeah, what I got out of the show was Jose showed a video about what scientists agree on how the planets and everything came together. And it's really just all basically speculation, because nobody knows for sure, but they think that since they all agree on it, suddenly they can push that as some type of fact. And it's nothing but a bunch of nonsense, because you can't prove any of it.
Slick, I'm curious, what do you consider proving that?
Well, in other words, sure. In other words, like when you say planetesimals form because they crashed together and gravity pulled them into more planetesimals into a planet. Well, can anybody demonstrate that? It's never been demonstrated. So it's just an idea that nobody can back up.
Does it have to be demonstrated?
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, well, if you're going to make a claim and you just say, okay, well, this happened. Well, how did it happen? I have no idea. Well, if that's the case, anybody can do that. Anybody can just make up anything. If you can just say whatever you want without backing it up, well, then there you go.
Do you honestly
Actually,
think
not.
that
It
things in
actually can be
science?
simulated.
Do you,
One at a
do you
time.
honestly think in science we just make stuff up?
Okay,
You know,
well, did
to
you?
make it convenient?
Sure. Well, then tell me this. Can you explain how planetesimals come together, colliding and forming into planets? Can you explain that for me? How does that process work?
Probably.
Sure,
gladly.
I can post something in the. I can share it if you want.
Well, you don't have to share it. I've seen Jose's video. I've seen the stories. I know the stories, but can anybody?
No. I
ever
mean, this is from 2018, and it's clumps of planetary material or of solar material collecting into clumps and forming into planets. I'd be glad to share it. I posted it in the live chat.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying, but before I look at it, what I want you to tell me is this a demonstration of planets forming?
It's evidence for it, yes.
I didn't
Check
ask
it
you
out.
that.
Feel free.
I know I heard you,
Just
but
check it out. Just check it out. Just check it out. I'm not going to answer any more of your questions.
That's fine.
I posted the link. Follow it or not. It's up to you.
I'm not.
So what is
Are
it?
you suggesting
Slick?
the only way
I'm not
that this can
following.
be
So
proven?
Slick, you want to see a whole planet form? Is that it?
No, that's not what I'm
As
saying,
George
George.
just said.
Listen, George, if you listen carefully.
Bob was just trying to say something, and I think you
George
all
already said it.
overspoken, Bob.
No, George already said it perfectly. In
Okay,
order to prove this, Slick, do you want to see a planet formed from dust to a full terraformed planet?
No, this is
that
what
your
I'm
standard of evidence?
No, this is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
Okay,
is
how much?
this.
What? At what?
Dude, are
point
you going to let me
did-
finish, or you just want to
No,
keep cutting
I'm going
me
to
off?
finish my. I'm going to finish my follow up. Then you can answer.
Well, no, you.
He
Well,
was-
I don't want to
Slick,
talk to you because you
Slick,
can't just cut me
Slick,
off after two
Slick,
words. That don't work.
no,
with me.
he was talking. He hadn't finished, Slick. Just let him finish, please.
At what point along that continuum from dust to terraform planet is far enough for you to consider it evidence? Now you can answer.
The whole thing.
Okay, so you want it all the way to a terraformed planet.
Do you know what the whole thing means?
Yeah, it means going from dust to a terraformed planet, and that
Yeah,
is
demonstrate
absurd. That's ridiculous.
Okay, sure.
You have
exactly.
a billion years to personally witness that?
Okay, exactly. This is my point.
Do you have a
Dude, are you going to
billion
let me talk? Or are you going to keep cutting me off
No,
every
you're
time I
gonna
open my
answer the
mouth?
question.
No, Bob stated it. That's where was going to
I
be
know,
my
but can
next
I
step.
finish
Is
my
that the
statement,
process
please?
takes too long?
Guys,
Do I have to
let's
mute
answer.
this all
Let's
again?
answer.
Dude, yeah, all I'm saying is give me a chance to say two words without cutting me off. Now, the only thing I'm saying is this. Anybody can make a claim about anything. If you can't back that claim up demonstrably, then anybody can make a claim. Why don't I just believe what anybody says if they can't verify it?
That's
That is my point.
historical
I'm almost done. I'll let you know when I'm finished. So damn, you distracted me. So my point, never mind. Go ahead.
Mission accomplished. That's historical science, which is the classic creationist bullshit where you have to watch it from the first dust particle all the way to the planet. Now, unless you have a billion years to do that, and you want to run that experiment to satisfy your own curiosity for a billion years, that's a bullshit argument.
Okay, so now here's
how does
the
a
thing.
raindrop form?
Okay, I was about to answer you. Now here's what you're giving me. You're giving me two options. Either I can believe it or not. Are those my two options? Because I can't verify it.
No,
So
your option is to use your God-given common sense.
I know, but
to
hold
understand
on.
the process and take it to its logical conclusion.
There is a third option here, Slick. You can just die stupid.
Okay, well, like I said, if you want to play games and troll, play with somebody else, George. I'm not. If you don't insult me.
No,
We're
that's
having a
actually a
conversation.
very valid observation that he just
See what I
made,
mean? This is what
because
I mean.
You are
You can't
willfully.
You can't
stupid.
have a conversation without throwing.
You're
I
not
didn't
a
call you any
conversation.
Notice I didn't call you any names.
You are
We're
not
having-
a conversation.
I know, but
Slick.
I didn't call you any names, did I?
I'm not calling you a name.
Did
I'm
you just call me
making
stupid? You just told me
that's an
about being
observation
willfully stupid.
of reality. Yeah, it is
Now, I'm
willfully
having a- listen,
stupid.
I'm
That's
having
an
a
observation of reality.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you respectfully. Are you capable of that or no?
I'm done with you.
Okay,
I've made my point. That's the only
Thank
point
you.
that I needed to really make, and I've
Okay,
declared
that's
you
awesome.
now.
Okay, that's awesome. Now, Georgia,
Yeah, Slick, the reason why I'm saying that is because just a bit earlier, Bob and I were both asking you about if you needed to see a planet form. You said no. And then pressed a little further later, you said, yeah, you have to see.
I don't know where you got that
completion.
from. Straw man. I did not.
No, it's no straw man. You said that.
Let him finish what he's saying, Slick. You didn't like to be talked over, so let George speak.
I asked you that directly.
Yeah, give me that courtesy too, Casual.
You're talking.
Bob, I thought you were done.
No.
I defer my time. I'm going to give it to Bob.
Good.
Now, I asked you specifically if you had to see it from dust to a planet. Your answer, quote unquote, was no.
Okay.
That I destroyed you by saying at what point in that continuum is enough. And your answer was all of it. So
now here we go again.
Don't play games with me.
Okay, now here we go again.
You aren't capable of playing games with me.
Okay, now here we go again. You're not giving me a chance to speak. When I say no, what I'm saying is no. That's not what I mean. This is what I mean. See, so you're not listening.
Oh, jeez.
Now here
all right, vote on the panel. Was I listening or not?
Now here's my
was I
point
not
again.
Accurate?
Now here's my point again. Now let me be very clear. When it comes to things like planets forming, and when somebody has a story that all I can do is either believe or disbelieve, that doesn't work for me. Because if that's the case, anybody can tell me a story. I'm not into stories. Okay, so if you don't understand that and you want to call me willfully stupid for not just accepting everybody's story, have at it.
No, I'll tell you why you're willfully stupid. Now, I'm going to ask you again so that everybody makes sure that they're very clear on this. Slick, do you need to see it go from dust to a terraformed planet in order to agree that that is the process that occurs? Yes or no?
Yes, and let me finish.
Okay, done.
Okay, you want to let me finish or not?
You are finished.
There's nowhere to go at this point, Slick.
Dude, stop trying to control me. Let me talk.
There's no control.
Are you scared?
At this point,
George, are you scared?
No, Slick, at this point, there's nowhere to go.
George, you're scared.
Terry, I'm out of this.
George, let him finish. Let him
There's
finish.
nowhere
George.
to go at this point.
Yeah, you're
okay,
scared.
it doesn't matter whether he's right or wrong. Just let him finish, please. Come on, just let hear him out.
I'm out of this,
Thank
Terry.
you,
I'll speak to you later.
Thanks,
Since
guys.
you said you needed to go from dust to a
let me
terraformed
finish.
planet.
The man just asked you to let me finish. Do you have a problem?
Look,
Okay.
we all agree with you, George, but just let him finish. Let him finish.
Yeah, I thought you were talking to me about me. Okay, let go, Slick.
Okay, and the reason that I say yes is this is the reason. Because if I see something form from dust to full completion, now I can verify that that happened. If I don't see it, now I can't verify it. So at that point, the only choices I have is to believe it or not, and beliefs don't make facts.
Okay, fine. So at this point, there's nowhere to go with you. You leave no other option. I mean, if you feel that you need to wait for billions of years or hundreds of millions of years for a process to follow to completion before you accept that being a valid process, there's just nowhere to go from here.
Well, I didn't say accept. I said verify. I can't verify it.
But I'm saying there's nowhere to go with you anymore.
Well, exactly. That's my point. The thing
then why
is,
do
George,
you even come in here and participate?
George, listen, I'm having a conversation. George, take it easy. I'm talking to you. Just take it easy. I'm asking you a question now. Now, you haven't verified it, have you?
I have on paper. I know the processes. I know how the calculus of the condensation of matter works, how it can coalesce into forming a larger object where I can take many bits of matter and see how they are mutually attracted to one another and the shape that it will take ultimately when you have millions upon bits of matter that coalesces together. I see that it forms a sphere. I can simulate it.
Okay, I still have questions for you. So now let me ask you a question. So have you actually demonstrated for yourself something coalescing into a larger object? Have you done this yourself?
Yes, I've done it on paper. And in fact, I was going to
you've done
eventually
it on
make a
paper.
video.
I'm not asking you if you've done it on paper. I'm asking you, have you done it, period?
I don't have to do it physically.
George,
I can simulate it.
Then say no, you haven't. So that's my point. So what you're saying is you believe that because you can crunch some numbers that this can happen, but you haven't demonstrated it.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, you can oh my God all you want. That's how it is.
Well, I've seen it demonstrated on the ISS in the absence of it when it's in microgravity.
So you were on the ISS?
No, but I've seen videos of it.
Okay, so say that. Don't say what you saw on the ISS.
I don't have to. I can believe what people photograph and present to me.
Sure, exactly. You can believe. That's my point. You believe.
So what?
That's it. In other words, what is a belief? A belief doesn't mean anything. It's just
no, it's not a belief in that sense. I've seen it demonstrated.
Make up your mind. What sense is it in? You said
oh,
you
stop
believe.
this belief experience
Exactly.
bullshit
said,
that you keep
George,
going
you
down.
said yourself.
No, Slick.
Okay,
I've seen videos. I accept the videos. If I want to use the word believe or whatever, that's not used in the same sense as what you're the bullshit you keep.
It is
peddling.
the same sense.
But no, it isn't.
Same.
What I'm
yes,
saying
it is.
oh, forget it.
It is the same sense because you haven't verified it. You just believe what you think
I've
you see.
seen somebody else verify it, and it's good enough for me.
Exactly.
All right. What's wrong with that?
Well,
that's how science works.
Sure, listen, George, that's
how you build upon what others have done in the past. You don't have to go and reinvent the wheel or every step of science in order to move forward. You accept what others have done, credible people, and you examine their work. And if it looks like they did it competently, you move on. You don't find any need to repeat what they've done. You don't have to recreate every step along the process.
Great, George. Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question then. What do you do when it looks like they haven't done it incompetently? Then what do you do?
Then I look for other sources.
Okay, so how do you know that that's not what I'm doing? How do you know that I'm not seeing incompetence?
Incompetence regarding what?
In the things that you believe. How do you know that I don't look at the same thing that you look at and then I say that's incompetent?
Well,
that's incompetent.
I'm confident that you don't. I'm sure you haven't read scientific papers or you haven't.
You're not sure. Don't be. How are you sure about what I've done and haven't
Well, I've
done?
seen the way you behave in these channels, and I know the depth of your understanding or lack of depth.
So if that's the case, I know your lack of depth.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I know your lack of depth, George.
You haven't seen it. Yeah, I'm sure you have never watched any of my videos. You haven't.
George, I've seen you around just like you've seen me around. Now you're able to pass judgment on me based on what you've seen. I'm able to pass judgment on you based on what I've seen.
I haven't seen any of your work.
And what
I
you
haven't
do is
seen
you
any
just
work. All I've heard coming from you are words. I've never seen any video where you demonstrate your competence in any area.
And the only thing I've seen with you is that you write math stuff down. I've seen you write stuff on a blackboard. I've never seen you do anything but write.
Well, then you haven't watched many of my videos at all.
Okay, have you ever watched my videos? You ever watched any of them?
I don't think you have any videos.
Well, I do.
Of where you've demonstrated performing an experiment
I said
or a test.
have video. I said no. What I said is that I have videos. I haven't seen yours. You haven't seen mine. So what? I've seen.
Some of what you've done, but I've never seen anything that you've that could be considered a test or an experiment to verify anything. All I see is just a bunch of words and a bunch of talking.
And I've never seen you do
and
anything
philosophical.
I heard you, and I've never seen you do anything but a bunch of words and a bunch of talking. That's all I've seen from you.
Really, you haven't watched any of my. You haven't watched any of my tests.
Listen, in your videos, you're just doing a bunch of words and a bunch of talking.
No, there's a whole set of video updates on doing my tests out on the ice, where I've actually physically gone out there and performed the tests,
Yeah, I heard the
measurements, and set up the equipment. Yeah, you heard, but you've never seen.
Well, I haven't been out there with you to see it. All I can do is listen to you talk about it.
You haven't reviewed any of my videos. That's obvious.
I've seen it. I've been around you. I've seen enough of what you presented.
Yeah, forget it.
Here's my question to you, George. Let me ask you this. So you did all of these tests, right? Now, let me ask you this question. I want you to answer me honestly. Before you did these tests, did you already know the Earth was a globe?
Well, most certainly I did.
Okay, so what did you do the test for?
I set up some targets. Yeah, guys,
I said, why?
so many times.
Why? What did you do it for? What was the point?
I first started off as a research project for researching the effects of refraction out on the ice in the wintertime. And some people saw what I was doing and asked if I could modify things to measure the curvature of the Earth. And I thought about it a bit and I said, yeah, it's a very simple matter from what I'm doing to actually see if it can measure the curvature of the Earth. So
who was these people that asked you to do that? Where did it? So you were out there on the ice.
Jaron Campanella from Globebusters and some of the guys from the ED 2.0 channel.
Okay, so they asked you, could you do this for them? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I've got emails.
That's interesting because I don't know. That's just interesting because they threw you out of the conference. They don't you too much. So it's amazing that they asked you to do all this stuff.
Well, this was 2 years ago before the Campanella changed his mind about coming up and monitoring.
Right. Something don't sound right because you just
No, I invited Jaron Campanella out here. He was going to make the trip out here, and then once it got to the point where the rubber had to meet the road, he backed out, just like he backed out of Wolfie's offer to go to Australia.
So let me get this straight. What you're telling me is that you was going to do some studies on refraction, and Jaron Campanella contacted you to ask you if you can do some tests on the shape of the Earth. Is that what you're trying to tell me here, George?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Actually, it was due to his request that I set up the Bedford level test. I was just first doing the test of setting up targets along a tangent line, measuring the drop distance down.
How did he know? How did he know you were doing a refraction test? How did he get wind of that?
Because he and I were communicating via email. We first met on Steve McRae's channel. Steve McRae was holding a hangout, and he was talking to Jesse Kozlowski, and I appeared about halfway into the show. I was invited onto the channel, and that was when I met Jesse Kozlowski, and I was describing what I was doing, and Jesse got all excited about it. And Jaron said, well, this is really interesting. And I gave him my email, and we started communicating via email.
Okay, so after you got and you showed him that the Earth was a globe with your measurements, and you gave them to him, what did he say? Okay, the Earth is a globe, because he's still
we never got that far because he, like I said, he begged out at the last minute and didn't show up.
At the last minute. Okay, so in other words, right at the point where you had the evidence that the Earth was a globe, all of a sudden.
No, not at that point. At the point of actually going out and making the measurements. Several weeks before I actually went out and made the measurements, after I had everything set up,
after you made them.
What's with all this?
It's just because I heard all of that before. I'm trying to find out the story about how you got the information to him. So after you found out,
I didn't get the information to him afterwards because he begged out. He declined to show up, and he started sending me very nasty emails telling me I'm a liar. And
why did he do that? What was his reason?
He did the same thing. I don't know. He did the same thing to Wolfie when Wolfie started inviting him out and saying that he was going to pay. Well, you shut up a minute. I'm explaining to you.
I know, but I'm trying to get clarity.
No, I'm giving you clarity. I don't know why he
lost me. Please, Flex, let him finish. Let him finish what you're saying, and then you can get your turn, bud.
I don't know why he changed his mind. He pulled the same crap on with Wolfie when Wolfie was at the point of going to purchase the airline tickets for him to go to Australia. He started turning on Wolfie and started sending him very nasty emails. I mean, they're very caustic, very nasty. Wolfie and I compared notes, and it was very similar to the way he treated me as he treated Wolfie.
Okay, so
I don't know why he started doing that.
Okay, can I get clarity here before you lose me? I want to get clarity. So what you're saying is that Jaron got in contact with you because he had wind of you doing some refraction experiments, and he asked you, could you help him with some measurements for the whole shape of the Earth, and then
I couldn't.
And then I'm sorry,
I couldn't.
Can't hear you. Oh, hang on, I'll turn you up. Go again.
I did want to bring
I just couldn't do it.
I had to leave. I was going to have. He's such an arsehole. He says one thing, then contradicts himself. Then just what's the point? What the hell did he let him on for?
Yeah, he calls me out after.
Anyway, I forgot that I was still had sound over there. I did want to bring back the conversation with Slick back because there seemed to have been a bit of a misunderstanding between not belief, which is different to believe in the usage of the word, for evidence and verification. Because to verify something, you have to believe what you're seeing as verification.
So hello everybody.
Hey Phil.
Hey.
Oh, hello, Professor Phil.
Hey, am I getting from this
now, Terry?
I getting from this that your guest? Am I getting from this that your guest? Your guest says you can't believe anything unless you experience it. Is that what I'm getting?
That's more or less where I'm getting it. But the verification.
Okay, so let's ask the guest. What does he think water is made out of?
Hang on, Professor Phil. Let me give you a quick warning before you do this.
No, don't do that.
Come on, Slick. You know me,
Sean,
man.
let the man go. Let the man go. Go ahead, Professor.
Yeah, but I asked my first question too.
Go ahead. What was your question, Terry?
Well, I was just saying
I don't know if it was to me or not.
Well, I just put it as an open question, but it was what you was talking with. Might have been George or someone else. I can't remember. When you're talking about believing something for verification of evidence, and how you believe something when you verify it yourself. That is you have to believe what you see or what you're verifying as evidence.
Well, not necessarily.
Let me please give them the warning.
No, don't do that. No, Ozzie, because you can experience the results. In other words, I don't have to believe something that I experience. That's, it's right in front of me. So that's the difference.
Just real quick, I really do need to head to bed. It's like gone 5 o'clock in the morning, so I'm just going to say good night. Good night, all. See you tomorrow, guys.
Righto, casual.
Night, casual.
Don't forget my normal show's on later when you wake up.
Yeah, if I'm awake.
Righto.
See you later. Have a
Okay,
good one.
what's this warning?
Bye, everyone. Bye.
So do you understand what I mean by that, Ozzie, when I talk about belief? In other words, I don't have to believe something that's right in front of
me. So when you see something, you don't take what you see necessarily as what you're seeing. It could be something else.
I take whatever I see what it is. I don't basically try to go over in my mind and describe it. I just take it for what it is.
Can I ask the guests some questions?
Okay. Yeah.
What does he think water is made out of?
I don't actually process that thought. I just know what water is.
No, but what is it made out of?
I have no idea. I just know what it is.
So what you're asking everybody to do is to just trust you, that you don't have any idea, and so therefore we shouldn't have a model that works because you have no idea.
What does that have to do with water? What are you talking about? You're kind of confusing me.
Well, if you tell me that do you think water is made out of molecules?
I didn't say that. I said I just don't know what water is. It's water.
Yeah. So if you don't know what something is, then how can you argue about what it's not?
Who said that I was?
Well, all right. So I'm asking you. So basically, So water is one of the things that you haven't seen. So you don't know what
Water
it is, right?
Yes, I've experienced water. I drink it all the time. I bathe in it all the time. I see rain all the time. I don't understand your question.
Yes, you experience gravity too.
Well, I don't know where you're getting that from. When do I experience
No,
gravity?
we'll get there. Don't worry.
You experience the effects of
you'll
gravity.
know exactly where I'm going. So you experience gravity. Do you agree?
No, I don't. I'm trying to wait for you to explain it to me.
No.
You haven't dropped anything?
Yeah, after I picked it up, sure.
Yeah, but it fell, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
After I picked it up, yeah.
What happens if you pour a glass of water on the ground? Where will the water go?
Well, first of all, I have to get the water up off the ground in order to pour it onto the ground.
Well, say it's in a glass and you pour it. Where will it go?
Okay, well, how did it get up? And where am I pouring it from?
Well, you used some energy, obviously, to put it in the glass.
Okay, so now how? So this glass of water just sitting in the air, and I go over to it and pour it into the ground. Is that what you're asking?
No. You know what I'm saying.
I do know what you're saying. That's what I'm trying to get clear.
Water falls too, doesn't it? Water falls.
After it goes up, I'm sure it does.
Well, let's just not be sure. We just be quite equivocal about that.
I am being equivocal. Water. Yeah, after it goes up, I'm saying
water doesn't go up. Water doesn't go up, actually, Slick.
Okay, so then how? Okay, so then how does it come down?
What about evaporation?
Yeah, say you have water in a glass and you just tip the glass over.
Okay, but tip it over from where?
All right, guys, let's just settle this real quick. How far will it go down?
Why?
Slick?
No, I was talking to the professor. I was
How
enjoying the
far will it
conversation.
go down, Slick?
I was enjoying the conversation with the professor. You're kind of cutting them off.
Yeah. Let's just finish. So we both now. I'm just trying to make sure that every step we're on the same page.
Yes.
So we agree that if you tip some water, it'll fall.
Tip it from where, though? What are you talking about? When you say tip it,
it'll fall.
Okay, first of all, in my understanding,
dude,
you got to let me answer you. You got to give me a chance to answer you.
Sure.
In my experience, I have to get that water up to something first before I can tip it and it falls. So make sure that you understand that my situation has two parts. Yours has one.
Have you ever been in the rain?
Yes.
Did the water fall on your head?
Yes.
Did it fall on the ground?
Yes.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay, no, it's not enough. Now let me respond. Now let me respond. No, you want to cut it off because you got your half, but let me give you my half. How did the water get up in the clouds in the first place?
Evaporation. Evaporation.
So the water. Okay, so hold on. So the water did go up before it came down.
No, it's not water. It's not water.
Okay, whatever you want to call it.
But it's a gas.
Whatever you want to call it. It went up before it came down. Am I correct?
Obviously.
No,
yes.
no.
That's all I'm saying.
No, it was a gas.
What am I missing? What am I missing?
The definition of what water is. Water is something you pour out of a tap. That's water.
Okay, so you can still call water a gas, but if it's a gas.
So hold on. Just for clarity, are we saying that rain isn't water? Just for clarity.
Yes, of course, rain is water.
Okay. So now, how does the moisture get up into the clouds for it to rain?
It evaporates.
Okay. Evaporates from where?
So it heats up, it becomes. I
know, but from where? Where does it evaporate from?
Well, the sun, the heat. Heats up.
No, but it evaporates from somewhere. The sun is from the sea. Okay, from the sea. Okay.
Lakes.
Now, okay, where's the lake at? Where's the lake
Your body.
Okay, where's the lake?
You don't know where the lake is?
No, I'm just saying.
You might as well say ground level, Phil.
Okay, so the lake is on the ground. Okay, so the lake is on the ground. So the moisture came from the ground, went into the clouds, and came back to the lake. So that's the cycle. I don't understand what cycle. So what does gravity have to do with that?
Well, when it came down, how do you think it came down?
Well, because it went up.
All right, you mind if I just destroy him real quick?
Yeah, but what caused it to come down?
It didn't go up. Yeah, but it didn't go up as water as it comes down, Slick. You're missing the point there.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me ask you this, Ozzie. What is in the lake?
Hey, Professor Bell, George here. I warned you.
What is in Ozzie? What is in the lake?
It's good.
Liquid water.
Okay, so now isn't that the same thing that evaporates up into the clouds?
No, it turns into a different molecule of water.
Sure, I understand that, but isn't that the same water? No matter it changes, it is still the same water came from the lake, right?
Well, the reason it rises is because it's in a different form of water.
I understand that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't dispute that.
Yeah.
Dr.
I just want to establish one thing: the water falls. That's all.
I know, but you can't eliminate how the water got up there. That's my
matter.
Point. It does matter. That's what I'm telling you. You saying it doesn't matter. I'm telling you it does.
Different forces are applied.
We're just trying to work out what gravity is. Why does the water fall?
Right. This is the point you're missing, Professor. By you not addressing how the water got up there, you're only telling half the story, and you're using gravity.
I have explained to you how it got there.
Hold on. I was almost finished. Dude, I was almost finished.
No.
I know where you're going, Slick.
I know, but I was Professor don't know where I'm going. So I'm trying to explain.
I have a question.
I just want to establish why things fall.
Yeah, one at a time. Just let Phil finish for a second, and then we'll get on to someone else. Phil?
Yeah, I'm trying to establish why it falls.
I understand why. I understand your reasons for why it falls.
Yeah.
But when I tell the problem that you're having, hold on, let me explain.
Yeah, let Slick go.
Phil, the problem that you're having with me is that you want to eliminate how it got up there, and I won't do that. I'm focused on how it got up there.
Okay, why does it matter how it got up there?
Because everything is in a cycle. Where it came from is where it came from is where it wants to go back to.
Okay, so let me help you. So it gets up there because it evaporates. It turns into a gas. It goes up there. It becomes saturated to the point where it's no longer a gas. It's now a liquid. It's too heavy now.
Okay.
So gravity will cause it to fall down again.
In your imagination.
Is that clear?
As I said, yes, in your imagination.
What do you mean in my imagination?
In other words, just
in the rain?
Listen, the reason that it's in your imagination is because you're eliminating in your mind how the water got up there.
No, I didn't. I told you how the water
hold on.
got.
I was almost done.
Didn't you hear what I said?
But the thing is that you're not counting that. In other words, it's not counting to you. You're only
no. I am. Listen,
it's hard to talk to you.
I have agreed to tell you how the water gets up there. The water evaporates. The water body, wherever it is, your body heats up. Okay.
I understand all of that already.
And when it does, the water turns into a gas.
I know. We just explained that. I get it.
The gas rises. So now you know how it got up there, right?
Yes.
You asked me before. You said I'm obfuscating how it got up there.
It's just that you're discounting it when you're talking about it coming down. You're discounting the fact of how it got up there and saying that just because it's coming down and you're not worried about how it got up there, you're attributing gravity to it. That's just in your imagination.
No. What I'm doing is I'm asking you to tell me how. I'm not attributing anything. You just tell me how the hell it got down.
The same way it got up.
How?
Because listen.
Why doesn't it keep going up?
Okay, I'm trying to explain to you. Things go in cycles. Okay, when something starts from a point, it wants to go back to that point.
Why?
So the rain, because everything wants to go back to where it came from.
Oh no, it's not things that want. Water doesn't have a mind.
But it has a natural resting place.
That's absolutely brilliant right there. Do you know what a baseball is, Slick?
So do you understand what I mean, Phil?
Phil, do
you understand what I mean when I say water has a natural resting place?
Well, so Rex,
we're going to establish what that natural resting place is right now.
Water can be anywhere. Right. Water doesn't have a particular place.
Okay, so water doesn't have a natural resting place, is what you're telling me?
Not a particular.
It has two natural resting places, Slick. It can also rest in the atmosphere. It doesn't have to actually come back down as water.
Yeah, Slick, Astro Rex brought something up good. A rock on top of a mountain has a natural resting place. So when you bring it down to the bottom and let it go, why doesn't it go back up?
Okay, here's why. Because things happen in cycles. Now, okay, I said, now here we go. Now you're not going to let me finish. You're going to cut me off. I see it coming. Now just give me a second to explain.
No, we're
Now,
just going to laugh at you.
See what I mean? Here we go, kids. Now the rock is at the top of the mountain, right? Sitting there minding its own business. Now you talk about the rock going down the hill, correct, George? Now, all you've explained was half of a situation, because in order for that situation to be whole, that rock has to get back up the hill where it started. Now, that would be a whole cycle for that rock, wouldn't it?
But there's a flaw in that, Slick.
No, but hold on, I'm not done. Just agree with me so far. Is that a whole cycle to get that rock back up there?
For the rock cycle, maybe there may be some truth in that, but not entirely. Keep going.
I know, but if you let me finish, I just want to establish that you understand me first before I go on.
No, listen, you're just obfuscating. Just tell us.
I'm not, dude. I will if you. Okay, I won't. Okay, I won't ask you any questions. I'll just explain without asking in between. Okay.
Yeah, tell me how it falls.
I'm telling you, the rock, like George said, the rock is at the top of the hill, minding its own business. Now somebody must come along, or something causes that rock to move down the hill.
Yeah.
Now, in order for that rock to get back up to where it came from, a whole 100% of the energy would be required for that complete cycle. Now, let's just say it only used 1% of the energy on the way down. Well, it's going to take 99% of the energy to get it back to where it came from, so that 100% energy is used for the entire cycle.
I just want you to answer the part where it falls down.
Exactly, that's your problem. You don't want about the other half.
No, it's not my problem. It's you.
Well, you only want half. See, you're only looking for half the information.
The question is for you.
Listen, I'm telling you, the reason that you only want half of the information is so that you can invoke your imagination. You don't want to hear the whole story. You only want to hear half of it.
The story, why it falls down, has got nothing to do with why it goes up. You know, you tell me why it goes down.
I'm telling you why. I just explained it.
Let me put it.
I just explained it to you.
Let me put it this way: do you care what you believe in is true?
Look, I won't even take you down that rabbit hole. But like I said, I just explained.
No, just answer. Do you care?
I don't have beliefs. I don't have beliefs.
You don't have beliefs?
No.
Do you think that it matters? Do you think that it matters? That what goes down matters how it goes up, like you just told me before?
Yes, it does matter. I just
so
that's why I explained,
don't you?
Dude, I'm just explaining.
You're not telling me stuff you don't believe, do you?
I know, but dude, listen, are you afraid to let me talk or something? If you're scared, just let me know. Okay, well, stop cutting me off.
Okay.
Okay. When something happens in a cycle, there's 100% energy allotted to that cycle. Now, that energy can be divided up any kind of way. It could be 80-20, 99-1, divided up any way you like. But in order for a complete cycle to happen, 100% of the energy must be used. Now, that's just from my experience.
Do you believe it?
I said from my experience. I don't have to believe it.
No, hang on a second. You can't say it. Do you think it's true what you just said?
I said it's from my experience. Yeah, I don't have to believe my experience.
But I'm still asking you the question. Do you think it's true? You can say I don't think it's true.
I don't think anything. I'm just saying I had the
experience. I don't know if it's true.
No, what I'm saying is I've had the experience. You can make out of it what you want. I don't need you to put words in my mouth. I had the experience.
I just want you I just want you to clear this up. Do you
cleared it.
What you just told me is true?
I don't think like that. What I told you was that I experienced.
Did you tell me the truth or not?
I don't think in those terms. I had the experience.
When you tell somebody something, you don't know whether you're telling them the truth or not?
I don't listen. I just explained to you. I don't think in those terms. I think with experience. I'm talking about.
Yeah, but after you've had your experience, then you tell your experience to someone else. You're telling them something that you think is true, don't you? Isn't it?
No, I'm just telling them my experience.
Yeah, which you think is true, right?
No, listen, I don't think in terms of true. So you're not listening to me. I don't.
Got to me. Listen, it's either true or it's not.
Hold on. You're not listening to me. I don't think in terms of true. I think in terms of experience. If I experience.
I get that.
Okay, so if I hold on, guy, just hang in there. If I experience something, I don't have to question whether the experience is true or not. I don't do that. Now, maybe you do, but I don't.
Yeah, but other people need to. If you're telling them stuff, they want to know that you're telling them the truth.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I'm telling somebody something, it's up to them to whether they want to take it as value or not. It does. That's all I can do.
Yeah, but are you telling them the truth?
I'm telling them my experience.
Which do you believe your experience is the truth?
I don't have beliefs. I don't have beliefs. I just told you that.
Yes, you do. I'm just trying to.
No, I don't. I just told you I didn't. How are you going to tell me I do when I just told you I don't?
Sorry, but you do, because you.
I don't. I keep telling you I don't.
You believe what you're saying is the truth. I'm sure you do.
I don't have beliefs. I told you I go by experience.
Do you want me to just go ahead and wreck him right now? Or do you want to keep doing this?
Yeah, help him out because he needs some help.
All right, Slick. Now I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Oh, here we go.
And I would like you to answer them honestly and politely. Have you ever seen a rock on the ground?
Yes.
Now, if I lift that rock up and drop it, what percentage of the energy cycle have I used?
100%.
Great. Now, if I lift that rock up and Professor Phil digs a hole where the rock was and I drop it, will it stop at ground level or will it go to the bottom of the hole?
It'll keep going to the bottom of the hole.
Where's the extra energy from?
When you bring it back up to level where it started in the first place.
No, I brought it up from ground level. I held it in the air while Professor Phil dug a hole where it was.
I heard you.
I heard you. To do with a rock.
I heard you.
Did it stop at ground level or did it keep going?
It kept going.
All right. Where did the extra energy come from?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Now, are you willing to listen?
Go right ahead. I'd love to hear this. Where did the extra energy come from?
Okay, now just listen. I heard your question the first time. Now, the rock started on the ground at level. Let's just say that's level, right? Now, the rock was raised 10 feet, correct? Now, let's say somebody dropped a hole and now the rock drops 20 feet, right? Now, let me tell you where the 100% of the energy will come in. When you raise that rock 10 feet to get it back to where it started, that'll be 100% cycle.
But what if you don't raise it?
Now, hold on.
No, I'm sorry.
Professor,
You've
hold
already,
on.
no, I'm sorry.
Do you understand?
I'm sorry,
I want to ask you
Slick.
I want to ask you a question now.
Stop, Slick.
Okay, so I can't ask you nothing?
No, you cannot.
Okay, no problem.
You already admitted that when I brought that rock up, and I didn't use 10 feet, but we'll use your 10 feet. And I let it go and it fell back to the ground. That was 100% of the energy cycle. All I did was bring it up the same 10 feet. Professor Phil dug a hole underneath it and I dropped it again and it went to ground level and then all the way to the bottom of the hole. That requires additional energy. Where'd the energy come from on the rock?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you, but you're still not listening. Listen carefully. I'll say it one more time. If the rock is at ground level and you raise it up 10 feet, now somebody digs a hole, so now when that rock falls, it falls 20 feet. Well, when you take that rock back up 10 feet so that it was where it originally started, that would be 100% of the energy used.
What happens if you don't take it up?
Now, did you understand what I said or no? I just want to find out if you
understood. Hang guys.
What happened?
You don't want to answer me?
Suffering this guy. Ozzie, are we going to continue with this nonsense?
Because you guys are literally feeding into what he wants. Slick.
Hold on
Can you
a second.
explain to me
Hold
when
on, Sean. Sean, hold on a second.
I want to do
Bob,
this. I got to do a Slick.
Sean, just
everyone's all freaking out.
Sean, please hold on. Bob, you asked me 3 questions. Now, how come I can't ask you one? See how I mean? So you can ask your 3 questions. I answered it very nicely. Now
no, you didn't. You did not.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Whether it was true or not, it was still an answer.
I answered the question perfectly.
No, you
find it funny that the rock needs help.
Yes, I did.
No, you did not. You didn't tell me why it fell. I asked you why it fell, and all you could think of is why did it go up? I didn't ask you why it went up. I asked you why it fell. Why didn't you answer that question?
Because that is the answer. Because you picked it up and dropped it.
No,
that's
the
why
answer is why did it fall?
Because you picked it up.
It didn't fall because I picked it up.
Yes, and you let it go. You gave it energy and you released the energy out of yourself.
So what made it go towards the ground?
Because that's where it came from.
No, it came from ground level. What made it go the extra 10 feet?
Because you dug a hole.
And what does that have to do with the rock? I didn't dig the hole. Professor Phil dug the hole.
Okay,
I just
whoever
held the
dug
fucking
the
rock.
damn hole, the hole was dug. Whoever dug it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but what does the hole have to do with the rock?
Because
The rock,
I told you.
I didn't lift it up from the bottom of the hole. I lifted it up from the ground, and then they dug a hole, and I dropped it, and it went to ground level and continued on another 10 feet. Where'd the extra energy come from?
That's what I explained to you, but for some reason you refuse to listen.
All right, if I lift it from the bottom of the hole up 20 feet and drop it again, it goes down to the bottom of the hole again,
let me
right?
try this one more time. Let me try.
No, you're not going to try it one more time.
Yes, I am. I want to try it one more time. Ozzie, if I could, just one last time, please. Now, here's what happened. You started at 0 and you raised a rock 10 feet. Now, when the rock drops 20 feet, that's not the complete cycle because you have to have 20 feet of lift to equal to 20 feet of drop. It doesn't matter how you divide it. You can have 10 going up and then you can have the 10 on the other end. So you go up 10, you drop 20, and then you come back up 10 again. That's how it's an evil cycle.
Okay,
it went up 20 and dropped 20. There you go.
You listen to me now. I'm going to tell you exactly the little story that we get, and then you answer the question.
You missed what I just said, right?
All right. So I pick up a rock from the ground.
Yes.
While I'm holding it up there, somebody digs a hole 10 feet.
Say 10 feet. Say 10 feet.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
use the 10
so
feet
I pick the rock from the ground. Somebody digs the hole 10 feet, and I drop the rock. It goes past the ground to the bottom of the hole.
Yes, 20 feet. So 10 feet.
Now I don't pick
feet.
it up anymore, and I don't take it out of the hole. I just leave it there.
Okay.
I walk away.
Okay. So what's your question?
How did it get to the bottom of the hole?
Okay, let me tell you why. Now, are you ready to listen? Because you've only done 75% of the cycle. Now, let me explain why.
It's the rest
because
of
you
it. That's what they
would you let me explain? Now, I'm explaining why. When I said 75%, let me explain why. Because you went up 10, you dropped 20. Okay, so that's 75% of the operation. In order to have 100% of the operation, you got to go back up 10 so that you drop 20 and it raised 20 and dropped 20. That would be complete. You want to talk about 75% of the cycle as if it's 100. You can't do that.
No, I don't want to talk about anything. I just want you to tell me how it fell.
Because you put energy into it and you released it.
No, but when I released it, how did it fall? Why didn't it go up? Why did it go down?
Because it came from down.
Is that your reason? Just because it came from down?
That's where it came. Listen, if you picked it up from somewhere, where do you expect it to go back to?
To fall. Things are caused. Things happen because there's a cause.
Well, listen. I told you what the cause is. You picked it up and put it up at that level.
No, you didn't. You just said because it came from there. That's what you said. You didn't tell me what.
I said it went back to the ground because that's where it came from.
But you just said it went because it came from the ground, so it went to the ground. But you didn't tell me.
Professor Bell. Professor
How does
Bell.
it do that?
Something that's being missed here, Professor Bell, in this scenario is you pick the rock up off the ground, you lift it 10 feet. Someone else digs a hole 10 foot. You let it go. It goes to the bottom of the hole. Now, Slick wants you to pull it back up to 10 feet. Well, okay, you bring it to the same spot it was, but you have to let it go. So it's going to go back down to the bottom of the hole.
What are you talking about?
You're not allowed to move it left or right if it's going to be in the same spot as where you originally picked it up from. So you have to let it go up at the top of the hole. So it's going to go right back down to the bottom of the hole. So you still got a deficit here.
Well, not really, because what you're doing
You're
is
not a silly man. You know that you're bullshitting to yourself.
Damn, how come when I go to address George, you just cut me right off? So you guys are just scared. All you're doing is showing your fear.
There is no scare.
Guys, come on, let me do this now. Flip me and you know. Let's do this. It's fun. Okay. You don't believe. Okay, got it. How do you verify your experiences?
Well, I don't have to verify them. I'm having them.
Okay, so there's no way to verify whether or not something is true, fact, any other way around that's correct?
Well, something either is or it isn't.
Okay, so if you're not been able to verify, then how do you know something is to be true?
My question exactly.
Well, like I said, I don't understand. Your question is kind of malformed.
How do you verify what you know to be true or experience to be valid.
Exactly.
I don't have to do that. I just have the experience. The experience speaks for itself.
So then your experiences don't act on anything besides for your own self.
Well, I mean, if I'm the only one around and it's my experience, who else is it supposed to impact?
Okay, that's it, guys. That's literally all that can be said. You guys are playing the game.
But Sean,
Yes,
when I talk about the rock falling in the hole, I'm not playing the game. I'm trying to explain to him.
No, you're not. You haven't explained it.
No,
dude, take it easy.
Relax. Hang on, because this is another one that he does too. I like it too. This one's fun.
Right, Sean. Let me just talk. Sean, let me talk to you for a minute, okay?
Yeah,
Sean, because you won't cut me off. Now, Sean, I'm talking about 100% cycles. Now, when I talk about the rock being lifted up 10 feet, we can take that 10 feet and let's break it down to say that's 25% of the action. Now, when that rock drops 20 feet, that's another 50% of the action. Now, in order to have 100% of that action, you have to raise it back up to 10 feet where it started from. Now, that whole cycle will require 100% of the energy required to get that item back to where it started. Now, Sean,
but it doesn't want to stay there.
Sean,
You let it. No, you let it go. You have to let it go to walk away.
Hang on, George, you had your shot, man. Let me do this now.
Now,
Okay,
Sean,
continue on.
do you understand what I just said just there? And if not, tell me what I'm missing.
I completely understand, but I have one question for that then.
Okay.
Can you explain to me when something is at zero rest, zero energy?
Right.
I have to go off mic for a sec,
Sean.
me? I'll be back in a sec.
No, I'm sorry, Sean. That was a question?
Yeah. When would that rock be at zero energy?
That would be when it's at rest, just sitting doing its own thing wherever it came from.
Okay, so how do we verify that it's at zero?
When you say zero, as far as what?
For instance, how do we know that rock wasn't picked up from a lower spot and put somewhere?
Well, I'm just saying you have to start somewhere. Wherever your starting point is, that's the starting point.
Okay, so we could say that if something is at zero for or at a spot for long enough, it becomes zero, or does it have to start there?
Well, just use a practical example, like a rock on the ground. I can understand that better.
Okay.
So a rock on the ground that's just sitting there, right?
So that would be zero.
That would be the 0 point. Yes.
Okay. So then what you're saying is if we dug a hole, that it would have negative energy.
No, that's not. No, this is what I'm saying. Let's say that the rock is sitting there and you dug a hole and now somebody pushed it off the hole and it went to the bottom of the hole, correct?
Okay.
You with me so far?
Yeah.
Now, in order to get that rock from the bottom of the hole back up to where the point was where it started, that would require the 100% energy, Sean. That's what I'm talking about. That's a complete cycle, correct?
But what if like the gentleman just said, the rock stays in the bottom of that hole? Is it at negative energy?
No, what it is that that's only part of that energy has been expended for that experience. Because the thing is, Sean, when I'm talking about is complete cycles. Now, if you leave the rock at the bottom, that's only half the cycle. So only 50% of that required energy to get it back to where it came from was used.
So if it's only half the cycle, you don't understand why.
Hang on. So does that mean that when we pick, so the rock, we'll say the rock is at zero. There's an earthquake and some ground splits, rock falls.
Yes.
Now, what is it when it hits the bottom of that crevice?
What do you mean that's part of the cycle?
Okay, but it's at 50% then, we'll say, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could divide the 100% up any way you need it. It could be 199, 80, 20, whatever. Sure.
Okay. So what if we're talking about a rock that has eroded from the top of a mountain?
Okay, so go ahead.
So get wind, water, erodes rocks, rock loses its stabilization and it falls off the mountain.
Yes.
Wouldn't that have started on the mountain, therefore it's now going negative?
No, what happens is that in order to get that rock back up to the top of the mountain where it started from, that would require the 100% energy for that whole cycle.
And how did it fall?
The erosion.
It's regardless of why it falls. But okay, so we've determined that the rock falls off the mountain. So the energy goes in either direction, correct? Right?
Yeah, in other words, there's 100% energy allotted for the event.
Okay. So if I put a lighter in my pocket,
yes,
and I never take that out of my pocket, would we say that lighter is at zero?
No, the
What would it
lighter
be
is
at?
not at zero.
Well, how would you define? Well, how would you establish
Because what is
the cycle?
right? I'm explaining to you what is at zero is where that lighter is at rest. Where is that lighter at rest?
In my pocket.
No, you put it in your pocket. Where is it at rest?
We'll say a table.
Okay, but how did it get to the table?
I put it there.
Okay, so you put energy into it to get it on the table. So that's some energy spent right there. Okay.
Are we talking perpetual energy now? So
no, you put it on the table. So you spent energy to put it on the table using your muscles.
The whole conversation is really silly.
Oh, it is, but that's kind of where it goes. But it's
not silly at all.
It's literally, Professor Phil, it's literally that you can't let it go around in circles over and over again. You literally just have to have the conversation with them like you're having a conversation. You guys are trying to force the answer out of him. He's never going to do it. Slick's too smart for that shit.
I'll bet money that he knows what we're asking him, and he knows why we're asking him.
I know exactly what you're asking me, and I know why you're doing it.
And
Slick,
no,
Phil, hang on.
Ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Slick, besides for the conversation, because we both know we've done this before. And the best part is I've said this 100 times, and Slick, somehow it still works for you. Keep doing your thing, my friend.
But it's not a game, Sean.
No.
Let me assure you, this is not a game, and it's not a joke. I'm not playing.
I know. Oh no, I know you're not playing, but it is a game, though.
No, it's not. It's not a game, Sean. I gotta correct you.
It's called the philosophical argument.
No, it's not.
Of experience.
I have to correct you, Sean.
Because remember, Slick. Because remember when we started interacting, we do this back and forth. But the second I started going into the verification of your experiences, the conversation ends. It's literally the philosophical argument for what is it called? Experience. It's a situation, guys, where Slick the word believe does not exist to Slick. The act of believing does not exist to Slick. So when you talk to him about believing, you're literally talking to him about little green men with 16 feet. You see what I mean? That's why the conversation does this. If you just have a conversation with Slick, like you're not trying to get him to answer something, you can have a conversation. Slick, we've had how many conversations? We don't get like that.
Sure, exactly.
And that's literally what it is. Every one of these conversations is a conversation to determine whether or not you're going to have a conversation with him or you're going to try to get something out of him. And he senses it all. He's done this 1,000 times.
See, Sean, in
sir.
Professor Phil's case, now this is what Professor Phil is trying to do to me. He's trying to instill gravity into me. In other words, he's going to force it.
No, I don't think he's doing that. I think
that's exactly what
I think he's coming. I think he's coming. I think where Professor Phil is coming from is that grade where he understands where, or let me say it a little better. He knows what he understands, and he's trying to express that to you the same way someone would go, "Okay, I understand. I see. I'm getting it," but you don't work that way, and I get that. What happens is people are going at Slick as if they need to know what they know. They need to, quote unquote, experience the way they do. Guys, you guys got to stop talking to Slick like, Slick, you believe, you just say you don't, because that's where the circle goes around.
See, Sean, when it comes like with the professor believes in gravity. He believes it's a thing. And what he's trying to do is to get me to believe it's a thing. And I'm just keep on telling him I don't need gravity to explain any situation.
But
so you just
do.
kind of, there you go again. See,
No,
I tell you I don't, and you tell me I do.
I don't know.
No, Professor, that's a perfect example. What just happened? Okay. Professor Phil, do you need to know about gravity to experience anything?
No.
There you go. That's why he says no.
Laurie's had his hand up for I don't know how long. I just stepped away for a minute. Laurie?
I just want him to tell me that he agrees that things fall. That's all.
Yeah, Laurie had his hand up, Phil.
Yeah. I wanted to ask how Slick experiences the energy, because he talks about these cycles and 75% energy and 100% energy. How does he experience that 75% energy or 100% energy? how does he experience this energy?
Right. Your question is kind of vague, but I'm going to try to answer it for you. Because in all of my experience, every experience that I've had, every cycle that I've seen required 100% of the energy for a complete cycle. Now, do you understand what I just said or no?
How do you know that? How do you know that? It didn't answer, because my question would be, how do you know that 100% of energy was expended? Like, is there some energy meter above the object that says, okay, now it's at 0 HP, so 100% of energy was expended? Where do you know, how do you gauge what percent of energy has been expended at any point?
Sure, I can answer you, sure. In my experience, I've never seen
Like, how do you
energy.
know what water's made of?
Damn, I'm trying to answer the man, and you just, come on, man. So, Lori, let me give you an example. This is an example of what I mean. Let's say that you have a car, okay? That car is a full tank of gas. If you drive half of that tank of gas, you'll reach a certain distance. In order to get back to that distance where you started, would you not need the other half a tank of that gas if you were on a level plane?
Sure.
Okay, that's how I know.
But
but you don't know how much it is, do you?
Case doesn't actually work, because I can use 100% of the tank to go the other direction, and I wouldn't go back to the same point. So by your definition, I used all the energy, but I didn't get to the beginning of the cycle.
Okay. So here's the deal. No, Lori, hold on. Now let me tell you, Lori, what you're missing. See, you're only talking about half of the cycle. In order to get that car back to the point where it started, that's the whole cycle. You can't just say half a cycle is a whole cycle. It don't work that way.
So what is the definition of the cycle?
The cycle is getting the thing back to where it started. That's a complete cycle.
Okay, that's actually good. That gets me exactly where I need to go. See, let's go back to the example of the rock that has the hole dug under it. We lift the rock up, then someone digs a hole. Now, when you drop the rock again, the cycle completes when it's at the point where it started. Don't mind about the hole. The cycle is now complete. So why we have now completed one cycle? Why is the rock continuing the movement? It's doing something else in addition to the cycle.
Lori, I'm sorry, but
by your definition, that's one cycle, because it came back to where it started. So that's one cycle.
I know, but Lori, I'm trying to get clarity. Definition. I'm trying to get clarity from you, and you keep talking. I'm trying to get clarity. Where was the starting point in your explanation right now? Where did this thing start?
At the ground level, and it came back to ground level, and then some. Why did it do the then some?
What are you talking about? You left out a whole lot of stuff.
It's the same example, so I kind of gave it fast, because it's the same example we've been having. You raise the rock up, someone digs a hole, and you drop
Lori,
the rock.
use a number like 10 feet. Use some numbers so that we can make this more understandable.
Well,
use the 10 feet.
We can use the same numbers we have been using.
Okay, let's use the
same numbers. There should be no conflict here.
Okay, use the same numbers.
Lift the rock up 10 feet. Someone digs a 10 feet hole. It drops down 10 feet and then some.
Yes, 20 feet.
So why did it drop past the point where it started from? Because that completes the cycle. So why did it go the extra 10 feet?
That's what I'm trying to explain to you. That's not the complete cycle. The complete
but
cycle
why isn't
is when
it is by your definition.
Lori, you're not listening. I'm trying to tell you. Lori, I'm trying to tell you,
you're wrong.
Cutting me off.
The complete cycle is when it the complete cycle by your definition is when the rock is where it started from, and it is where it started from when it drops 10 feet. So why did it do the extra 10 some?
Lori, you can't
changing the definition. You are changing the definition of the cycle in the middle of the question, so you're moving the goalposts.
Okay, Lori, hold on. Lori, you can't ask me a question and you answer it. You can't do that. You understand that?
I can't because I need to hold you to this point. You are changing the definition of the cycle in the middle of the question. When you lift the rock up and drop it down, it after 10 feet, it's at the same point, so that cycle ends. Now it does something after that. And then in order to answer the question, you need to change the definition in the middle of the question. So you're moving the goalpost now to explain away why the cycle completes and then something else happens.
Okay, so I don't get a
If
chance to answer.
If you don't realize that you're moving the goalposts, I need to clarify it to you so you understand.
Okay, sure. Now, do I get a chance to answer, or is this over now that you're done speaking?
Yeah, you can answer.
Okay, like I said before, here's the part that you're missing. See, you're only thinking about the part where it dropped to 20 feet. You're missing the part about getting the rock back to where it started. Now,
no,
do you understand?
Here is what you are still
Lori,
missing.
I'm not done.
Slick,
now, Lori,
I'm only interested in where the cycle ends by your definition. It ended by your definition when the rock is at 10 feet, and then it dropped to the other extra. Now you're moving past where the cycle ended already. The cycle ended. We don't need to talk about what happened after that.
Okay, here's what your problem is, Lori. You're trying to define my scenario, and you're telling me where it's wrong. And I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, because you gave me the definition,
Lori,
and I'm just holding you to your own definition.
Dude, do you have a problem, Lori? Stop cutting me off. Now, what I'm trying to tell you.
I have no problem.
Dude,
you just have a problem with me.
Stop it, Lori. Stop doing that. Now, I'm trying to explain to you, you're missing part of the cycle. You're only going to the bottom,
but you changed the definition of the cycle. I'm holding you to your own definition.
Lori, I tell you what, fine. Lori, no problem. You're right. No problem. You're absolutely right. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
Slick,
you're absolutely right, Lori.
I think we're just going to go around circles. Slick, can I ask you another question? I need to go soon, but so let me ask you. Slick, do you think that that rocket's going to space?
I have never seen a rocket go into space. I can't verify.
So you think because you haven't seen one, they don't go?
I have no idea.
Okay, so you don't know. The answer is you don't know.
I don't know. No.
Okay, all right. So if I tell you they have.
Let me ask you this. Do you know?
Of course.
How do you know?
Because I'm involved in the rocket business.
I know, but that's not an answer. How do you know rockets go into space?
Because we put satellites into space. So the rocket goes there and drops the satellite off.
Who is we?
Me and my team.
Okay, so you've put a rocket into space?
Absolutely. How
did you do that?
Well, put some fuel in the rocket, lights up, causes a huge explosion, rocket goes up into space.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Hold on, because I'm not done with you, Professor. Did you actually see the rocket go up into space with your own eyes?
You bet.
Okay, how did you do that? What did you see it with?
You stand on the platform, the observing platform, and you see the rocket go up.
I didn't ask you go up. I said go into space.
Well, once you see it go up, it's got telemetry on it, so it tells you how high it is all the way.
Okay, but that's not what I asked you. I asked you, did you see the Professor? I said, did you see the rocket go into space? I'm not asking you about telemetry.
Yes.
So you saw the rocket go into space with your own eyes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, good. All right, now once it's in space, third or fourth stage, it deploys the satellites, and the satellites orbit the Earth. I'm just wondering if it ever crossed your mind how come they do orbit the Earth?
Well, I don't listen. You said you've seen it, so you know better than I do. I haven't seen it.
Well, you bet I do. I've been doing it
when
for 10
you said
years.
that you've seen it, you said that you've seen a rocket go into space, so you know way more than I do.
Okay. All
okay,
right.
so what do you want? Okay, so what do you want from me? You've seen a rocket go into space. What is that supposed to?
So you don't know, you said.
What? Hold on. You
said
that
it's possible.
Dude, listen, I don't know. I don't know. How am I supposed to know whether I ain't never seen no rocket go up into space, but you have. So since you've seen it, you know whether it's possible or not. That doesn't mean that I know just because of what you saw, right?
So you can't say that that rockets don't go into space, can you?
Whoever I can.
All you can say is you don't know.
Exactly. What is your point?
Oh no, that's terrific. I don't often get a flat earther to say that. They just equivocally say they don't go into space.
Well, that's their problem. That ain't me.
No. That's cool. That's cool. You're actually better than the average flat earther. So can we get down to the flat earth then? Do you believe that?
I gotta check off.
I don't have beliefs. I keep telling you.
I appreciate you letting me on. Slick, I always like talking to you, my friend. Have a good one.
Okay, Sean.
Professor Phil, this is for a side note, maybe on Terry's sometime, if you could stop in, because I got some questions about like the moon landing and trajectory and all that kind of stuff. And I've already heard from multiple people, you're the man to talk to. And I want to understand it. I just need someone that can help me.
Hey, and I got a question for the rest of the panel. Has anybody else seen a rocket go into space besides Dr. Phil here?
Yes, actually I have.
I have.
So
I
you
watched
with your own. So with your, I ain't talking about a video. I'm talking about your own eyes. You've seen a
Oh,
rocket
okay.
go
Well,
into
now
space.
that gets back to verification of evidence.
But that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, have you?
By the time you can't see the rocket, it's in space.
Yeah, I've actually watched one go overhead.
Dr. Phil, hold on, Dr. Phil. Back up. Now you're telling me something different.
Well,
so now you're telling me that once you stop seeing a rocket, it's in space. So you didn't actually see the rocket go into space.
Oh, yes, you do.
Are you correcting yourself now, Dr. Phil?
Our rockets have 3 cameras on each stage.
I didn't ask you that, Dr. Phil.
You don't have to ask me. I'm telling you.
You're backtracking, Dr. Phil. You're not even honest as you're not even as honest as the average glober.
And then I followed it with the cameras.
Okay, so you didn't actually see it with your own eyes, then? Like
yes, I saw it with my own eyes go into space, and then I watched it. Then the cameras took over after my resolution can't take my eyes can't resolve it anymore.
Okay.
I look at the
well,
cameras.
I'm a little more. Okay, I'm a little more clear now because.
So this is Slick's game, y'all. This is Slick's game. This is what he does.
Because I asked
you got to see it with your own eyes.
Yeah.
I asked you, did you see the rocket go into space? And you said, yeah.
Yeah,
so
of course.
You saw a rocket in space, and you didn't. You saw something on the camera.
Let me tell you something. You haven't. So let me give you a little lesson in this, okay? When the rocket goes up, for instance, let's say we're sending a rocket into geostationary orbit. The rocket leaves the Indian coast, heads east towards Indonesia, and does a barrel roll so that it ends up around towards the equator. Now, just within an hour and a bit, or less than an hour actually, it's already at Brazil.
Okay.
And then again, look again, it's in Kenya. So the rocket now is in space. We can actually see the rocket come past in Kenya. We've got a station in Kenya. We've got a station in Brazil. We can actually follow it. The people on the ground can actually see it. You think, oh, the rocket's going into the sea. It's not. It's in orbit.
So let me ask you a question. Do you have any uncut video footage of everything you just explained?
You bet.
Okay, would you post it at some point? I'd love to see it.
Come to my channel. I'll put it on there just for you.
Appreciate it. Because like I said, there's a lot of people are itching to find unedited footage of a rocket going into space.
Shown them,
so far, you're the first person to have it.
No, I'm not. And I'll tell you something else. The trouble is that you are the first flat earther who's actually willing to say, I'm prepared to look at something without saying it's CGI before I even look at it.
No, that's not. That's a false.
Every time I've come
but you can't listen. But
it's got to be CGI.
But you can't do that. But you can't do that because you're just making up numbers. That's a straw man. You can't do that. Come on, man.
No. I'm talking about my experience with flat earthers.
Right, but in that experience, you're generalizing, so that's not fair.
Well, obviously I am, because you've pointed out that I can't say it's 100% because you're the 0.00001%
Well, the thing is, how many flat earthers have you talked to?
Quite a number now.
Okay, quite a number is not an answer. How many? Give me a number.
I don't know.
Okay, so the thing is, you don't know how many there are, so you can't say most of them. That's just
wrong. No, I told you in my experience.
Right.
You're the first one.
So like I said, as far as this rocket thing, there's a lot of flat earthers itching to see an uncut video of the rocket going from ground to space, and you're the only one that I've ever heard that mentioned it has uncut footage. So I'm just telling you.
But you can have a look at SpaceX's one. You can see the rocket go up.
It's not uncut. It's just always cut, and then CGI added. All of the videos that I've seen about rockets going. Hold on.
I've never seen evidence for CGI. Blake. You've never provided any evidence
point.
for CGI.
You just made my point.
What I'm trying to tell you, Professor, is that in what
you're trying to claim is that it's CGI.
I've seen the rock. Dude, are you going to troll me to death or what? Now, what
I'm not trolling you. You made an assertion and you haven't backed it up with any evidence.
God,
you keep doing that.
So now
you are annoying as hell.
Listen, I think I'm going to presume that you're genuine. So on my channel, I'm going to create a video. I'm actually going to put this. Please go and have a look at it, because I can tell you now, from one human to another, you will be astonished. You'll be
okay. Is it uncut? I just want to know if it's uncut. In other words, no transitions.
Okay. You probably got to define what you mean by uncut.
What I mean by uncut is this: when the rocket leaves the ground, a video from the whole time that it leaves the ground till it gets into space. How long does it take to get into space?
Just a few minutes.
About 4 minutes.
A few minutes to,
yeah.
Okay. I want to see an uncut video of the daytime or whatever, and then all of a sudden it goes into the nighttime of space, where I see, and then wherever else, if you got that footage, I'd really love to see it.
Okay, no problems. Now, then let me explain.
You know what? Let me explain something to you. You could end this whole flat Earth conversation with that video. I'm surprised you haven't.
Trust me, I've tried.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you bet I am.
Well, the reason I ask is because people are itching to see a video like that. So if you tried, you must not have tried. You must not have tried very hard.
No, they say
no. People are willfully ignorant, Flick. Just like you said earlier about the CGI stuff. That's just willful ignorance.
Listen,
okay.
have you got a pen with you? I can just tell you, give you look up PSLV C48. That's the last one. That was just done just in December.
Okay. Now,
PSLV C48. Look it up. You will be astonished. Believe me.
I understand, but I just want to ask you a question. Who put the video out? Is it a NASA video?
No, it's the Indian Space Research Organization.
So it's an India's space program?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just trying to ask.
Yeah, no problems. Yeah. So now have a look at it. Now, all I want you to do is I want you to look at this and think, look at this and you will be astonished, because I look at this and when I see it, I've seen it hundreds of times and still makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up when I see it. Astonishing.
Okay, but let me ask you a question now, because you said that you actually work with people that you put the rocket up yourself. So why are you referring to what India did when you got your own? Why are you doing that?
I work for the Indian Space Research Organization.
Oh, you work with the Indian Space?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, my fault. Okay, I wasn't clear.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm definitely want to check out what you're saying, because like I said, you can single-handedly end this conversation.
I wish that was true, but it
is. Listen, if you've got uncut footage of a rocket going from the ground into space where nobody can see any cuts whatsoever, and you can actually see, what do you see from the rocket? Like, do you see the curvature of the Earth and everything else, or when do you cut the shot?
Yes, you do.
Okay, if you have that and it's authentic, conversation's over.
We have it, and I wish that was true. But anyway, I'm glad to show.
Listen,
I'm more than happy to show it to you. And if you can't wait for me, just like I said, PSLV dash.
Yes, I'm getting ready to write it down. Hold on. I just had to get a pen and a piece of paper. I got it right here. Okay, I'm sorry. One more time. What?
PSLV.
PSLV.
Which means which is the polar. GSLV is the geostationary. So GS.
Okay, hold on a second. PSL. Wait a minute.
C48.
Okay, just read the whole thing out to me just straight. PSLV.
C48.
C48.
Yeah, so
and
space. Put a space in between the PSLV and the C48. Okay. Now.
Okay, hold on, dude. You're moving too fast. PSL dash.
PSLV for Victor.
I know, but hold on, dude. I'm trying to figure out where the dashes go.
So after the V.
Okay, just read the whole thing with the dashes in it.
All right. P, S for Sam, L for Larry, V for Victor, dash C for Charlie 48.
Okay.
Okay, now so that's one. Can I give you one other just so that you can?
I know because I only need. Listen, how many do I need?
Just this.
Now,
I'll just give you another one.
Okay, hold on. Okay, Phil, hold on a second. If this one here is what you say it is, I don't need another one. So
no,
why
please
are you trying to
look
give me
at the other one anyway, because I just love people to look at this. It is astonishing.
But I thought the one that you just gave me was astonishing.
This one is even better. It's
okay, why didn't you just? Okay, well, Phil, why didn't you just give me that one in the first place?
Because it happened just in December. Just the other one is a.
So what? I know, but we're on a conversation now. You could have just gave me that one instead of the other one. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
I'll also do C37. Okay, so C48. I'm just
going to do. Listen, Phil. Let me explain something to you. I'm only doing one because I only need one. Because
okay,
if
cool.
one don't, if one don't do the trick, two ain't gonna help you.
I'd like to know the second one, Professor.
You want to see something awesome or not? Look at the other one.
I'd like to.
I'm only going to look at one. So give me the number of the one you want.
You're not interested in looking at something awesome.
I just want to look at one. So give me the number of the one you want me to see.
That's a good. All right, look at C37 then.
Okay, so everything is the same except for C37. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. See, when people start telling me I need
Professor
to, when people start telling me I need to look at two, that sounds like they're already doubting themselves.
No. I just want you to. I'm a scientist. I want to show you the beauty of this.
Dude, there's zillions of scientists. You act like you're the only one.
No. Well, I'm telling you now. You are now talking to a professor, a physics professor, a scientist working with satellites.
That's so exciting.
I'm excited to show you something these two things are quite rare. Have a look at them, okay?
I said I'm going to, I'm not going to look at them. I'm not going to look at them. I'm going to look at one. Because like I said, if you need two, you're already doubting. You're already doubting yourself. And
not for a second.
Okay, so C37 will do the trick.
This is not going to work unless you give them an actual link. I've looked these up. And there's so many videos.
Go ahead, George. Tell me what I'm not going to see.
There's so many videos, and many of them have cuts in them, so it's not acceptable.
There it is. Now, see, did you hear him, Phil? There are cuts.
I'll put it on the on my channel. Okay.
Phil, you're disappointing me. George done already called you out. Come on, man. Why are you doing this to me? God. Now you just told me how excited I was going to be, and George done already busted you with the cuts. Before I even seen anything, I'm already now listening to George tell you that there's cuts in it. Come on, man. So you're not being honest.
I'm going to put it on my channel. I'm going to put the one that I'm talking about on my channel.
Okay, so is there any cuts in it? Because George just said that there are. Now, are you telling George you don't know what he's talking about?
Each camera goes the complete way until the stage is broken. So until
the stage is broken, and is that where a cut comes in?
You asked me, will the rocket go from the Earth to space?
No, this is what I'm asking.
The camera. Yes.
I'm asking you, is there uncut footage? Now, George just said that there's cuts. Now, are you disagreeing with George or not?
Yes, I am.
Okay, no problem. George, do you have a response to that?
Well, I said there's several videos. The ones that I have seen have cuts. And I asked him, I told him he'll have to probably give you a link to a very specific video that doesn't have the cuts, because the ones I'm viewing do have cuts.
Correct.
Okay, which ones are okay now? Professor, why is George seeing cuts?
Because there are many different people have seen this and used it on their own channels many times and used whatever bits of it they wanted. I want you to look at the one that was created by Israel.
That is the case. Like, there's many different videos where people have taken the same footage and put it on their own channel. So
exactly.
Okay.
Bell is going to have to direct you to a very specific video.
You have to look at one.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Professor, you're killing me. Because I'm thinking that you've already directed me to a direct link. Now, George is saying that you haven't.
I didn't give you a link. I only told you what to type in.
Okay, so what am I going to get when I type in? Am I going to get a whole bunch of stuff to choose from?
Yes,
exactly. Exactly.
Oh my God. Okay, so how am I supposed to know what to choose from, Professor?
Look at any URL that's got ISRO in it. ISRO.
Did you do that, George?
No, I didn't know that was to look for.
Can you do it now? I mean, because you're right there. You seem to be
Yeah,
looking at this.
I'm just a minute. I found one. I'll look at it.
So, George, can I talk to you for a second?
Sure.
Okay, so what you're looking for, George, to answer his specific question, is that we've got, for instance, the C-37 has got a camera facing towards the engine, okay, the back. So what happens is, right from the word go, the camera is on and tracks the spaceship all the way until it gets into space. And then once it's in space, you can see it's in space, you can see the blackness of it, and then what happens is that that stage is then released. It moves into.
Yes, I've seen that in several of these videos. Again, you're going to have to link to a specific.
I will.
There's so many choices on these things, and you go.
I'll put it on my channel. Everybody, please have a look at it.
Now, Professor, while you're doing that, do you know that you were about to have me go on this whole wild goose chase for something that wasn't even what you said it was?
Listen, I don't know. I would think that the average person, after being told like that, would be dying to go and have a look.
No, it's not that I'm not dying to have a look, but George is already looking at it and he's telling you there's cuts.
You're not incapable of sifting through a few things, are you?
Well, it's not that. I just want to find one with no cuts. How many am I going to? How many am I going to have to look through?
Flat Earth thing, isn't it? You just want people to always do stuff for you.
Oh, here we go. Now here we go.
If you took the trouble to actually learn stuff and look at stuff, you wouldn't believe the Earth is flat. I guarantee it.
I don't have beliefs. I keep telling you.
1 hour in my class, you will not think the Earth is flat.
I don't think the Earth is flat now.
Oh, okay. I thought I was talking to a flat earther. Sorry.
I am a flat earther.
But you don't think the Earth is flat?
No, I don't. Because I'm only going by the way what the Earth presents itself. The Earth presents itself.
What does a flat earther mean?
In other words, that's my experience. I experience a flat and motionless Earth.
So you think the Earth is flat?
I didn't say that. I said I experience it.
Okay, so are we we're going in this roundabout again?
We're not roundabout, it's over. I just told you I experience it. That's it. Don't make it a round and round.
I think we'll pick this up on another time because it'll end up being another show, and I've got my normally scheduled show in a little while, so I think we'll finish it up here. Right. I thank you guys for coming on, and it's been what I could say is being interesting for what's being said and discussed. Few little over talkings and misbehaving from everybody. I can't narrow it down to the specific people because that'd be a certain word for that. But I thank you all for joining, and we'll catch you all the next time.
All right, I can narrow it down. It was no name.